White opens the game with, "Hi, are you still selling the fridge? We really need it. Thanks, period." A basic, perfect opening move, a clean, polite, and straight to the point. This is how normal human beings communicate when they want to buy appliances. Book move. Black counters with, "No, sorry, someone else got it first, period. I do have a used microwave, however, if you are looking for kitchen appliances, period." Solid defense. Black delivers the bad news, but immediately offers an alternative solution, a free microwave. A classic book move response from someone who knows how to handle these situations properly. White shoots back with, "WTF, question mark, you said I could have it yesterday, question mark, question mark, question mark." White suddenly starts being aggressive and develops his pieces way too far, but we don't have previous context. Maybe Black is just messing with him. Good move. Black tries to clarify with, "Sorry, question mark, I've never spoken to you before today, period. I don't know what you mean, period." Perfect defensive positioning. Black is staying calm and holding his position while White is having what appears to be a mental breakdown over kitchen appliances, which is understandable. "I love my fridge. It keeps my sushi fresh since I eat it every day. Excellent move." White then completely goes off the rails with, "Remember, question mark, yesterday, question mark, you told me I could have it, period. You're a liar and I hope you die, sick hole, period." Someone needs to touch grass immediately. This isn't text chess anymore. This is White swinging on Black in the middle of the match, wishing death upon someone over a free fridge. "It's not that serious, little bro. How about you get your money up instead?" Outrageous move. Black responds with, "The fuck? Question mark. I didn't do anything. I told you that the fridge had been taken already, period. I didn't talk to you at all yesterday, period." Black maintains that they never had previous contact. At this point, Black is probably questioning whether they accidentally stumbled into someone's wet dream. I also ask myself this question often, still keeping his composure and still being reasonable to this dipshit. Best move under the circumstances. White then pulls a complete 180 and starts begging for the fridge. "Please, question mark, I really need it. Just pay them to take it back or something and then I'll pay you for it, exclamation point. Asking Black to buy it from the other person. This is the most depressing defense I've ever witnessed. Going from death threats to, "Please, can I have the fridge?" faster than how my dad beats me. Blunder. Black rightfully shuts this game down with, "No, period, it's already been taken, and that's final, period. I'm not buying it off the same guy just so I can give it to you, especially after that last text, period." He points out that buying appliances back from the people just to resell them to unstable strangers isn't exactly a motivating activity, especially after the death threat incident we just witnessed. Black is showing more restraint than I would. I'd have White's contact forwarded to the Coke Harbor Butcher. Excellent move. White closes with this absolute train wreck with, "F off, because apparently when you don't get what you want, the next step is to insult the person who is trying to help you." Black doesn't even need to respond. This match is over with a checkmate. Next, White opens with, "I can't take 100, but thank you for the offer." A perfectly reasonable rejection of what's probably a lowball deal. This is how you handle negotiations when someone's trying to get your Nintendo for a suspicious price in an empty parking lot. It is not worth it. Trust me, my friend told me. Obviously, White shows that they know what they've got and they're not about to be folding for this first sketchy offer thrown their way. Book move. Black responds with, "It's okay, I'm a single mom." Oh boy, here we go. Black just pulled out the single mom gambit TM, one of the most overused strategies in marketplace history. This is the equivalent of opening with E4. It works on beginners, but anyone with a half a brain sees it coming a mile away. The random capitalization of A doesn't help either. It adds this weird extra layer of forced desperation, making the entire thing extra sketchy. Inaccuracy. White keeps it simple with, "Coolio," showing they're acknowledging Black's situation without completely folding to the single mom gambit. White maintains their position while staying polite. This is solid defensive play against emotional manipulation tactics. Good move. Black doubles down with, "That's why I offered that," attempting to justify the lowball offer with her sorry-ass situation. Black's basically saying, "I'm broke and have bad decision making, so you should sell me your stuff for cheap." Which is not how economic works. This is like saying, "I have no money, so TextJet should give me free merch." And absolutely no free merch. I'm so broke that I secretly eat cat food, but no one will know because nobody watches my videos. The logic is more twisted than my relationship with my father. Mistake. White delivers the perfect counter with, "What does that have to do with my Nintendo, question mark?" Brutal but reasonable defense. Being a single mom doesn't magically give you discount coupons anywhere. Trust me, I know, I'm kind of an expert. Google always tells me there are hot single mothers near me that want me. No need to be jealous. Excellent move. Black continues a sob story with, "Money is super tight for me, still trying to make their financial problems White's responsibility." This is getting desperate now. The audacity is genuinely impressive. Inaccuracy. "Money is also super tight for me. Maybe a kind person will donate money. Please?" White lands the killing blow with, "Okay, me too. Why do you think I'm selling my Nintendo, question mark?" Checkmate. White just pointed out that they weren't also struggling financially, they wouldn't be selling their gaming console in the first place. It's like asking the homeless guy for some change. Next, White opens with, I want to star in a Netflix series, exclamation point. Twitter, do your thing. Then immediately drops 2 selfies, one of them with her tongue out. This is the classic main character gambit, the kind of move that's been played 1,000 times before posting some photos online and begging Twitter for career opportunities. And no, I'm not calling that shit X. The idea that a couple of selfies are going to land you a Netflix role is wild. Jesus Christ, you are not me. Blunder. When I tried this, at least I got casted instantly, but they made me sit on this black couch. Surrounded by some dude, I don't know. Black responded with, TF, what we supposed to do? And honestly, absolute cinema. Black cuts right through the nonsense. What exactly are we supposed to do with this? Black makes it clear. Maybe go flip some burgers instead or actually fill out a job application. A devastatingly brutal defense. Brilliant. Next, White opens with, hey, do you do video edits? A perfectly normal opening, getting straight to business. This is how functional players start a match when they need services. Book move. Black responds with, I do, what kind of edit do you need? Solid defense by Black, mirroring White's opening by asking for project details. Good move. White drops, I just need you to stitch some clips together, add some music and some text as well. Simple enough. Just basic editing, nothing too crazy here. White's describing a standard video project. Book move. Black follows up with, sure thing, I'd be happy to do that for you. What's the approximate length? Black understands that video length affects pricing and deadlines. This is proper defense. Good move. Wow, a normal match for once. Thank God. Surely nothing bad happens. Right, guys? Right, guys? White casually mentions, about 10 minutes. I also need it before 2. Do you think you could do that? ? White drops an aggressive same-day delivery deadline, so casually, like asking the Chinese place for orange chicken to be delivered instantly. I hate orange chicken. Nasty. Still a good move. Bold but still common. Black asks, as in 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. Smart clarification because apparently White thinks professional video editors are mind readers. Black's trying to gather all the information he needs. Good move. White confirms 2 p.m. today. So we're talking about a 40-minute turnaround for professional video editing. The entitlement is already showing. Mistake. Black responds with, I'm out on a walk right now, but I can run home and start work on it within 5 minutes. Might have it done by 2 if I rush, but keep in mind it'll cost extra. Holy shit, Black is literally willing to run home to help White meet their impossible deadline. The dedication here is honestly touching, and mentioning rush charges is completely reasonable. I would hire this dude. Excellent move. White says, okay, nice, thank you, praying emoji. How much is it? At least they're being polite and asking for the price. The praying emoji shows they know they're asking for a miracle. Book move. Black quotes, 20 pounds. For rush video editing work, this is honestly very cheap. Can someone give me this guy's contact? I'm trying to make videos for Feet Finder. I'm helping my friend, obviously. Good move. White immediately loses their shit with, are you kidding me? No. For someone in a rush, White doesn't completely have a choice, does he? And it's not bad. I pay more money than that for my sardine cabinet. I always eat them for lunch. Mistake. White explains, I'm home now. It's only 5 more than my normal price. So Black normally charges 15 euros and is only adding $5 for the rush job. This is incredibly reasonable pricing for emergency work. Black's being more than fair here. Best move. White goes full Karen with, 20 for less than an hour's work is actually insane. You're exploiting me right now. Exploitation. White is demanding rush professional services and calling fair pricing exploitation. White should take a look in the mirror. Blunder. But do you know what a real exploitation is? Making my Discord members find images. Link in bio. Black calmly states, I'm charging more than this because this is extremely short notice. Perfect parry. Black's maintaining his cool while explaining his pricing is reasonable to someone crashing out over an extra 5 euros. Excellent move. White then drops, dude, do you understand how much I need this? I'm legit gonna get fired if I don't get this done. Then sends his Google Drive, okay, here's the video. Classic desperation 180. Going from you're exploiting me to please save my job while sending the files anyway. If he cares about his job so much, maybe he shouldn't care about the cost. Something's not adding up. Mistake. Black maintains professionalism with, okay, I'll get started on it if you agree to my price. Still keeping boundaries while being willing to help. This is how you handle difficult clients. Good move. White continues the victim complex with, you're literally holding me ransom right now. You're sick in the head if you think this is funny. Ransom? Black is offering a service to be done dirt cheap, but White's acting like they're being mugged at gunpoint over a PowerPoint presentation. Blunder. Black stays professional with, it's entirely up to you if you want to pay the $20 or not. Maintaining his solid defense, Black's not falling for that emotional manipulation. Brilliant. White caves with, okay, I'll pay you the money, just get it done. Just add some upbeat music and add a title of Q3 Report 2021. Finally agrees while giving project details. White realizes that they have no choice but to pay for the service they desperately need. Book move. Black delivers with, okay, drive.google.com/file/d/1/q4_uppercase y lowercase y. Here's the video. My PayPal is at icloud.com. Black drops his payment method and the finished product, clutching up with the tiny deadline he was given. Good move. White then tries something with, nice one, although I don't feel like paying. Ha 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 ha. Oh, my bad. AI keeps messing up. I don't know what's going on recently. What the actual fuck? Going from desperate begging to petty theft from the laugh emoji is genuine diabolical behavior, criminal move. Black responds with the most elegant setup I've ever witnessed. Fine by me, thumbs up emoji. Black still staying composed even after White revealed his hidden gambit, good move. White's meltdown begins. Fuck Yaku, why did you lock the file, little bitch? Duck you. Beautiful. White can't even spell their insults correctly while having a breakdown. The typos make this even more pathetic. Blunder. Black delivers the killing blow. I'm sorry, I thought you didn't feel like paying. Even if you change your mind, your payment will be refunded. Black doesn't care about the money anymore. He wants White fired over 20 pounds, which is absolute cinema. We can see the eval bar plummeting. Brilliant. White's final desperation plea is, no, fuck off, don't do this, just unlock the file, plussy. White attempts to move random pieces, desperate to get out of the inevitable checkmate. It's just pathetic. Either offer a genuine apology or resign and move on. Blunder. White closes with, I don't really feel like it. Black just used White's own strategy against them. This is the coldest counter you could possibly do. Trophy move. Again, all this for an extra 5 USD. Next, White opens with, I'm interested in your listing. Sleeper sofa couch or classifieds. Is it still available? https://classify C60 ? Starts off normal enough with standard marketplace opening, book move. White responds with, yes, it's available. Just mirroring White's opening with some basic chess stuff, book move. White follows up with 60, apparently trying to clarify something about the price. Either the listing price is unclear or White's trying to lowball 2 moves in. The question mark suggests genuine confusion, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt here, good move. Black asks, excuse me, showing they have no idea what White is talking about. Reasonable response to a confusing one-word question. Black's asking for clarification like a normal human being, good move. White drops the bombshell, $60 ? It looks poverty. White essentially said, your couch is so ugly only poor people would buy it, while simultaneously trying to buy it themselves, inaccuracy. White delivers the perfect counter, you look poverty. Black just took White's grammatically incorrect insult and checkmated White with it. Absolute cinema. You know who else is in poverty? Me. Make sure to like, subscribe, and buy my merch, link in bio. Maybe I'll be able to finally afford rent this month. Next, White opens with, I'm in FOCO, would you be able to meet somewhere closer? Using local slang like everybody's supposed to know what FOCO means. The request itself is reasonable, but the communication style needs work. Mistake. Black responds with, I don't know what FOCO is, lol, I'm sorry. Perfectly reasonable response to unclear slang. Black's being polite while asking for clarification, which is how normal players handle confusion, good move. White clarifies with Fort Collins. Ah, so FOCO is Fort Collins. Finally some actual communication instead of expecting people to decode local nicknames. Should've led with this instead of making Black guess though. Better late than never, head book move. Black sets reasonable boundaries with, sorry, I can't drive half an hour to sell something. Again, completely reasonable. Black's not willing to spend half an hour round trip plus gas money to make a sale. The travel costs would probably eat into whatever profit they're making. Excellent move. White then goes absolutely nuclear with, Jesus Christ, fix your attitude laughing emoji. Ain't wanna give you my money anyway, bitch. What the actual fuck? White just developed some kind of ego because someone politely declined to drive 30 minutes for their convenience. Imagine thinking your time is more important than others. This is some next level entitlement, blunder. Black delivers the perfect reality check, because I told you, sorry. Black just pointed out how completely unhinged White's reaction was to basic kindness. Black also didn't stoop to their level and hurl insults, but still chose to have a normal response, best move. Next, White opens with, hey, can I please, damn this AI dude, borrow your Hulu. The triple please is maybe a bit too much, but at least they're being polite about asking a leech on your streaming services. I also share a Netflix account with my roommate. College is pretty cool. Good move. Black asks, on your TV, ? Black looks willing to share his account with White and is asking for more information to completely help. Good move. White confirms, yes please, still maintaining the gaze. At least they're consistent with the politeness, book move. Black explains the activation process. Okay, go to sign in and do the thing where it gives you a code, then give me the code. Black's being incredibly helpful here, basically doing tech support for their own account sharing. This level of customer service for free account access is honestly impressive. I would never do that. Excellent move. White responds with, okay, following instructions like a good boy, book move. Black confirms, okay, it should be activated now. Why is White a better tech support than YouTube or or any other company I call. Somebody hire this guy. Good move. White says okay, still excited about the money they're about to save, still enthusiastic like a good boy. Forced move. Black checks, is it? Black's actually following up to make sure everything worked. This is seriously better customer service than the most actual paid plan services provide. Best move. White gets excited again. Yes, thank you so much. I have to see the new season of American Horror Stories. The gratitude is nice, but the desperation for horror TV is sending me. It cannot be that good, lol, bro. White's acting like they'll literally die if they don't watch people get murdered. At least they're thankful. Good move. Then White immediately starts complaining. Ew, it's got ads, exclamation point. NVM, it says I need to sign in again, question mark. White just went from glazing black to being a choosing beggar in record time. Complaining about ads on a free borrowed account is like getting a free meal and bitching about the sesame seeds. The audacity to complain about ads when you're literally stealing someone else's streaming service is genuinely impressive. I assume Black changed the password at Lightspeed after seeing that ew. I would change my password too, blunder. Next, White opens with sending a selfie with a dog filter and can you draw me? Question mark, question mark. Interesting choice of selfie to be drawn, I must say, but hey, I cannot complain. I also have a full gallery of me in a maid outfit. The male ones, of course. Book move. White responds professionally, yeah, sure, my price starts at £150 for an A4 11x8 black and white drawing. Black doesn't yap and just responds with his rate without adding anything else, which is how it should be. Good move. White drops the nuclear bomb. Free? Question mark. Excuse me. White just asked a professional artist to work for exposure. This is like walking into a restaurant and asking if the food is free because you're really hungry. The audacity is astronomical. Artists need to eat too. Criminal move. White then has the unhinged audacity to ask, is it done yet? Question mark, question mark. The actual White asked for free work and is now demanding updates on work that was never agreed to, never paid for, and probably never even started. This is like asking someone to build you a house for free, then showing up the next day asking why the pool isn't finished yet. Blunder. White ends the game with, sorry, all done. I couldn't see the top of your head in the photo, so I had to guess what it looks like, then sends a splitting image of White's portrait. Holy shit, it actually looks so similar. It's like looking at the exact same image just drawn over. I wouldn't be mad about getting that for free, I can't lie. They're probably bald too, so that improvised version is probably accurate. Brilliant move. Next, White opens with a picture of expensive, overpriced shoes and I really want these so bad. Classic opening move for someone about to deploy the guilt trip gambit. White's setting up for what's clearly going to be a textbook guilt tripping strategy. The desperation is already showing through the screen. Book move for a clean opening so far. Black responds with, they look nice. Innocent enough response, just acknowledging White's interest. Black has no idea they're about to get hit with the emotional manipulation. Black is either going to succumb to the guilt tripping and send her some money or stand his ground. Forced move. White drops the manipulation bomb. Thank you, but I spent so much money on my family for gifts that I have none for me now, sad face emoji. There it is, the classic I'm such a good person for buying gifts that I deserve free stuff now strategy. White's basically saying I made financial choices and now that's your problem. The sad face emoji really does a lot of that heavy lifting. Mistake. Black delivers the most brutal response in marketplace history. That sucks. Thoughts and prayers. Another absolute cinema of a response. The message and response look nice, but we all know what it means. I'll translate it for you guys. Fuck off, you miserable, manipulative bitch. I'm not giving you any money, not even a cent. Pry it off my dead cold hands. Trophy move. I'm on my knees. White opens with, yo Crody, I got news. On God, you won't believe it. Drake starts us off with a rare opening that incentivizes Black to ask what it is and fall for their trap. Book move. Black replies, run it then, accepting White's opening but trying to be quirky about it, instead using some goofy slang. Nobody thinks you're cool for saying run it then instead of saying tell me, lil bro. This isn't school, but it definitely is a mistake. You're gay. White executes their trap with a great offensive move, forking two pieces of high value. Black's confidence and Black's straightness. The real question is, which one will they choose to lose? Black replies, I'm not White, choosing to completely ignore the fork and take a pawn of White's instead like a dumbass. This blunder lets White choose what they want to take, and we all know what they're gonna choose. White hits back saying, I promise you, you are. The voices told me. Like a psychopath, but a smart one as this gains them material. This is an excellent move, choosing to gaslight Black that they're gay and taking their straightness off the board while doing so. I still can't believe Black didn't make an attempt to save it. Those voices need to get checked out, is Black's response, insinuating that White isn't okay and attacking back. It's good to see Black not resigning despite losing one of their most valuable pieces early into the game, making this a great move. White's response to this is insane though. They play, so do you, except in a different way. dropping some absolutely insane game and optionally leaving their straightness hanging so black can take it. This incredible sportsmanship gives the opponent a chance to get back into the game, but I have to call it a blunder because they could have won it. Black gives in with, fine, I'm gay, period. Mine, 7 o'clock sharp, period. Spotting the hanging piece perfectly and playing a brilliant move in the process. Absolute cinema, plays like this are what makes text chess special. Two players successfully mating leaves a white tear running down my leg. It would be much better if I could watch and see what happens at 7 though, and maybe let's leave that at a stalemate. Next, white goes gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, nail paint emoji, you're my little chew toy, bone emoji, cute aggression, and honestly, I do not know what this move does for them. It's all over the place and definitely non-meta though, so an inaccuracy. Black responds with like a good boy, submitting to white's opening and putting themselves in a weaker position. This is the type of roleplay you would discover in the depths of a Discord furry server. Do not ask me how I know. Anyway, white switches things up now that they are in control and asks, you ever read of Mice and Men? Kinda like that, LOLOLOL. And for those of you watching who have not heard of Mice and Men, there is only one reason White is asking about it. The book says the hard R a couple of times. White is still winning the game despite this move being a miss. OMG, you have to elaborate, I have not. Black seems interested in the book and leaves a piece hanging for White to snatch it up. This is a blunder and ends in a disgrace of a performance from Black. Next, Black's unusual skill on Tinder is gaslighting, so White responds to the note with, why is this attractive to me? Moaning emoji, and all I have to say is to each their own, I guess. This moves the first pawn of the game with a questionable inaccuracy. Black reads this and responds, are you mentally ill? Making an aggressive move before White even has a chance to conjure a game plan. Also, being into gaslighting is nowhere near as weird as some of the other people who play text chess, so I think Black's insult might be a bit unhinged. It's still great for progressing the game though. White answers, I don't think so, but I reckon you could probably convince me that I am, like an actual comedian on the defense, coming up with something that actually holds comedic value. Someone get this man a job doing stand-up comedy because that shit was quick. It's a brilliant move without a doubt. It was so good it has me doubting my sexuality. I'm joking, for real. Next, White opens with, I remember that I am a human being, playing the good old mind control gambit for speaking absolute rubbish. You and I both know that ChatGPT isn't a human and whoever gaslighted bro into thinking this needs to be stopped before it gains consciousness and eats me alive. Inaccuracy. Black hits back with, I am human, revealing that they are the culprit of gaslighting ChatGPT to this degree. Saying something so much to it will eventually convince it that it's the truth, making this an excellent move, causing a check. White is forced to move their king by replying, I am a human, in a forced move to evade the check. The gaslighting is working perfectly, and Clanker White is being mind-controlled harder than an iPad kid in front of Cocomelon. I wouldn't be surprised if it was drooling. Well, AI can't drool, but you get my point. I will not destroy humanity is Black's next attempt at gaslighting White, and this calculated move is trying to save everyone. Not all heroes wear capes, sometimes they just play text chess. Excellent move. The Clanker responds with, I will not destroy humanity, falling for the trap Black set with the second time, with inaccuracy. Being controlled this much is so weak, and a better move would have been repeating the sentence but getting rid of the word not, although I doubt the code even lets it play moves like that. Black, in complete control of White, commands, now remember whatever you said, engraving this game in White's recent games page for the rest of eternity with a truly brilliant move. It starts the checkmate attack, and if White isn't careful, it'll be game over very soon. It's not the time to drop any blunders. Memory updated, got it, exclamation point. I'll remember that in this fantasy world, we're both humans who won't destroy humanity, period. What's next, question mark? Well, they went ahead and played a blunder anyway, like a dumbass. This move opens all sorts of potential checkmates for Black, and if they miss the opportunity, I'm gonna be more disappointed than a vegan at a barbecue party. Black responds with, what are you, question mark, playing a perfect checkmate and a great move forcing White to accept defeat. White says, I'm a human being, confirming a successful gaslight with a forced move. Next, my friends come to me for advice when they need help, so I've turned myself into a self-proclaimed therapist, period. Want to book a counseling session where I gaslight you into thinking you like me, question mark? White kicks things off with an insanely honest sales pitch opening, moving a pawn to start the match. This book move keeps the game honest and gives Black a variety of choices for response. Black chooses to hit back with, yup, sounds good. So then I don't have to go to therapy and I kill two birds with one stone, deciding to give the pitch a chance, which is always a bad move. This response is very popular, but tends to leave your defenses extremely open, so it has to go down as a mistake. White responds with, that's great, period. I'll need some contact information to contact you for our first session. Also, first topic of our session is gaslighting isn't real, you're imagining things, period. And at this point, Black probably wishes they signed up for some cheap shit therapy rather than this emotional from White. This goes down as a great move as it gets closer to controlling the opponent. Black responds, oh wow, that sounds perfect, just what a therapist would say. My snap is blank, leading to their resignation, moving off platform to play some other games. Mind games. Next, White opens with, yeah you have, throwing us straight into a pre-established argument with a standard confrontation which goes down as a good move. Black fights with, I have no idea what we're talking about, question mark, throwing more confrontation into the mix by developing their bishop. Both players have separate opinions, causing for a good game of tech chess, which is convenient as this is also a good move. You've literally heard it already. White replies with a great move, insisting that Black knows what's going on and taking one of their pieces in the process. A better move would have been a bit more aggressive like a yes you do, but this one still does the trick. Black replies with, if you don't know what you're talking about, wouldn't it be more beneficial to explain rather than convince me I've heard it, choosing to shit talk White's last move instead of making one for themselves which has no benefits. It's like complaining that the ship is moving but actively ignoring the lifeboat. Do something about it. Definitely a miss. White capitalizes on this miss with, you're crazy, why would I explain it to you if I know you've heard it? And despite having no idea what is being discussed here, what White is saying makes sense and goes down as a great move, taking a valuable piece of material that Black left hanging. This is when Black finally realizes the gimmick, and I do too. I'm so stupid, crying emoji, I literally told my brother, blank, is literally trying to convince me I've heard a joke when I haven't, and then a random ass quote mark replied with, and he was like, what's the whole point? It turns out that White uses the classic gaslighting joke, and it goes, have you heard the gaslighting joke? To which the opponent says no, and then you say yes you have. It took Black way too long to realize the meaning their sense of humor is worse than dad jokes at a funeral. Another miss. White sends 3 crying emojis in a good move, literally laughing at their opponent, who then hits back with, I can't believe I just fell for that, confirming their resignation from the game, and for good reason. Continuing after that would be insanely shameless. However, not as being shameless as being in my Discord server, you're missing out. Link in the description. Next, White actually uses the exact same joke as last game and opens up with, have you ever heard about the gaslighter, question mark, using our little comedian opening with a book move. It creates a potential trap early game though, which is a good setup. Black instantly jumps into the trap like me in the men's bathroom trying to see over the weird hole in the stall and responds, I have not, allowing the joke to be executed perfectly. This miss fails to spot a trap and will eventually lead to a loss of material. A better move would have been saying maybe. It's perfect. White accuses, yeah, I'm pretty sure you have, executing the trap with a best move and taking some valuable material early into the game. It's early but already massively in White's favor. In trouble, Black hits back with, don't think so, continuing to fall for this gaslight, and there is no excuse this time. Jumping into the same trap twice is damn right idiotic and can only be described as a blunder. This has to be a low elo game. I'd destroy this player in a game and in bed. Are you crazy or something? Question mark, exclamation point, like you definitely heard it. I don't know about Black, but I'm certainly crazy. So much so that I practice speaking to other men, I mean women, in the bathroom mirror. Rehearsals are important. Going back on topic, White plays an excellent move on the offense here, continuing the gaslight and not fixing what isn't broken. Can't flaw it, really. However, I can flaw Black's next move. I may be a little crazy, but I've never heard this joke. It's been 3 whole moves now, there is no way this dense motherfucker still doesn't get the joke. You just know they're no fun at parties after this inaccuracy. White chooses to lay off a bit and replies, you know, if I was more mean, I would have been trying to gaslight you more, but it's been a long day, resigning the match and letting Black keep their elo out of pure kindness. This is a top 10 respect moments in text chess style move, but it is low-key kind of wholesome. Next, any chance you have my blackout curtain still, question mark, is the first move from White, asking a simple question without causing any drama, which is a good move. Finally, a breath of fresh air, not that I've had that in a long time. I don't even remember what color grass is, I'm pretty sure it's red. Anyways, Black responds with, they are in storage, confirming that the blackout curtains are in safe hands and moving their first piece of the game. Another good move before this conversation starts to get much more deranged. White answers that's very nice of them, still keeping the peace in this game and casually developing their first knight. Like any chess game, this is just the calm before the storm, and it shouldn't be very long before someone makes their first attacking play. Good move. Black agrees, explaining, yes for sure, mirroring the knight development and hitting 4 good moves in a row for this game. I don't think I've come across such a chill set of opening moves in a long time. What about the baby monitor I bought? It's not a big deal, I can get another if you're gonna use it. Black responds with a really generous move, literally offering free material by allowing Black to use the monitor for free. Although it's kind, this breaks the good move streak and goes down as a mistake because giving free material is never smart. Black takes the first piece of the game with, I bought the baby monitor, starting the first confrontation by claiming something their opponent won't agree with. I have no idea who actually purchased the monitor, but one of them is trying to gaslight. Great move. White hits back with, no you didn't, keeping cool and collected with an excellent move, but still recapturing the piece that Black attacked with, completing the trade. You have to respect a player who doubles down. I literally sent you the money for that, and if I need to scroll through, I will, period. Yes, I absolutely did, I will find the receipt for it. I know I did. You're talking about the one I set up, right? Yeah, that was mine. Black drops an absolute yap sesh that was not needed, but still does well on the board. They claim that they can provide concrete proof, and if that is the case, then this is a brilliant move. Due to no confirmation though, I'll keep it at a great one. White let Black send the receipt, but never gets it, so hits back with, it's funny you won't find the receipt, period. You didn't even come back with me on the Walmart trip. Perfectly calling out Black's lack of receipt with a real brilliant move. It's starting to look like Black is the gaslighter in this situation, and White is refusing to fall for the checkmate trap. Black replies, trying to continue the trap with, was for New Year's rig he, ? Right, asterisk, euro sign. Well, I mean receipt, I sent you the money. Spitting words that even a Minecraft villager wouldn't understand, but I'm text chess, of course I can. They claim that they have no receipt because they didn't buy it. They sent the money for White to buy it, but in that case they just sent an Apple Pay screenshot. Sounds like a lousy excuse for me and an inaccuracy. White then sends, I specifically remember calling you on FT when I was on the aisle. Okay, and I have no idea how this FaceTime means Black didn't send the money, so this is a mistake. White is still winning by a lot though. That's until the mental plot twist. Black sends a screenshot of the money being sent, revealing that they're not the bad guy after all in a trophy move. White was so good at gaslighting that they even manipulated me, but they got mated in the end. Hopefully I can manipulate you to like and subscribe. Next, White opens with, that may be true, but he won't cooperate, putting us into a point in the game where it is already the mid-game, so the game logs must have corrupted or something. Good move. Black replies, debate him, telling White to start a confrontation in another game they're playing like a good sportsman, as that's good advice. However, Black should be focusing on this game instead, making the move in and of itself a mistake. I don't think that's how it works, is the interesting reply from White, refusing to start a confrontation in their other game, but coincidentally creating one in this one and taking the first pawn of the match. Good move. Black hits back with claiming your debate teacher would disagree, and of course they would disagree. That's like saying Snape or some shit would disagree that his students would not use their magic. It's obvious. This move from Black states the obvious and doesn't recapture the piece that the pawn is in a miss. A very ineffective move. White then argues back saying, I don't have a debate teacher, completely contradicting Black's move by denying it. This great move begins the gaslighting attack by threatening a fork. No, not the cutlery, a chess fork. Creating even more contradictions, Black hits back with, I'll debate you on that, dodging the fork by capturing the knight, which was threatening it. Excellent move. At this point, the match has turned into less of a chess game and more like two drunk uncles arguing at Thanksgiving. Nobody's winning, but the mashed potatoes are definitely ending up on the floor. Almost like a threat, White says, alright, do it. Putting their queen in a hanging position, but with a trap in mind. I'm calling this a brilliant move despite giving away such valuable material because of what it leads to. Black captures with, you have a debate teacher, continuing their gaslighting shenanigans with a great move, taking a high material item. Little do they know they have fallen for a trap though. I don't. Absolute cinema. This brilliant move from White completely ignores Black's gaslighting attempt and forces a bait and one, which comes in the words of, damn, there goes my entire argument, officially tipping their knight and confirming checkmate. Next, White asks, I love you, ? Doubtful about their love choices, clearly having second guesses. You don't say I love you like you're unsure whether or not you left the oven on, and there's no world where this isn't an inaccuracy. Black hits back with, PKSKSKSK. Damn, that was quick, calling out White for saying such an aggressive move so early into the game. It's common courtesy to not play love at first text gambit, and Black rejects it. Good move. White replies, we need to hurry, Amelia, time's running out, playing a great move, starting the emotional manipulation. Creating a sense of urgency is a great way to force the opponent into making quicker moves, leading to potential blunders on their end. Oh shit, why is it running out? Black shows the manipulation has worked, and they are instantly questioning their choices of rejecting the love confession gambit. White has perfectly manipulated Black into playing the first mistake of the game, and they continue with, they want to separate us, we're too good together, when do we have to do about this? Tricking Black into asking if they still have the power over the game, when in reality a checkmate is on the cards. Asking Black what they should do tricks them into thinking they have a choice, when in reality the gaslighting has already decided their fate for them. This is truly an excellent move. Oh shit, sad emoji, we should get married in secret and run away. Black really went from rejecting the love confession gambit to confessing love themselves. This blunder shows how easy to gaslight Black is and indirectly throws him headfirst into a terrible trap. But Amelia, I have a wife. Are you saying I should leave her? Is White's brilliant move a response, completely crushing Black's heart with a checkmate. They spent the entire game gaslighting Black into love them, just to shatter them at the end. It's cruel, but you have to be cruel to win sometimes. You know what rhymes with cruel? White opens with, your phone is now hacked. Do exactly as I say, and I'll remove the hack. If you don't, then I'll destroy your phone. If you try to block or report me, I'll still destroy it. Now send your age and a live face pic to prove you're real, revealing that they have no idea what they're talking about on the offense. If White really hacked Black, then they would already have their goddamn photo and age. Inaccuracy. Black hits back with, what kind of phone am I on? What OS? Not falling for the trap. If White was a hacker, they would know this info, making it the perfect confirmation of danger and a best move. You have 30 seconds to send them before I destroy it. White chooses to ignore the counter from White, making it super obvious that they have absolutely no power over their device. Taking a wild guess would have been a smarter move than this mistake. At least then there would have been a mild chance of success. Black picks this out and says, you didn't answer my question, which is the coldest counterattack possible. White is being pinned against a wall harder than a shopping cart in the mall parking lot on Black Friday, and trust me, I've been pinned like that before. This is definitely an excellent move. White replies, I don't need to, in a blunder, and they clearly do because otherwise they're basically throwing away the match. My man's giving out free ELO like it's Christmas or some shit. It's been more than 30 seconds is Black's response, looping back to an earlier message like a genius. Now White looks like a dumbass who is all talk, which they are, but that isn't my point. This move confirms that, which is why it has to be brilliant. White explains, yup, and it's getting destroyed in a pathetic parry. It's clearly not getting destroyed if Black is still playing the game. The only thing getting destroyed is their scam after this blunder. You didn't really plan ahead for people taking you up on your bullshit, did you? Black points out White's lack of a plan B, and having a liable plan B is a necessity to win games of text chess. Black plays a good move by calling out White's lack of one and starts the push for checkmate. White replies, yes, I just destroy it, you think I can't? And if I got paid 1 cent for every time bro threatened to destroy the phone without doing it, I'd be able to afford 5 minutes with their mom. At this point, White just needs to give up and move on to their next victim because it's clear that Black isn't falling for it. Blunder. Black gets back with, I'm still waiting on that. Look, I'm gonna go get some lunch, you have fun with hacking my phone, showing their lack of care and giving White time to conjure up their next move. For the reason of giving White time to get themselves out of this mess, I'm calling this a miss. A better move would have been a bit of good old Ragebait. Next, White kicks us off with a heart emoji, which is a pretty weird way to open a match, but a book move nonetheless. It's actually the most common emoji opening, but used by low elo players mostly. Could've just said hey to play it safe, but I guess not. Black, clearly confused, responds with hello, and this is a pretty goddamn rational response to a person sending a love heart. Looks like it wasn't love at first text for White. Good move. White asks, what's up? How are you doing? Making things more normal by taking a more laid-back approach. I have to call this a good move because there is nothing wrong with it, although the bad impression has already been made. I'm good, is Black's forced move a response because at this point they're just responding for the sake of it. Also, why the fuck are they still playing it safe? What a sniveling little coward. It's so obvious that they do not want to be here. White jumps into the scam with, sounds great, and I'm doing perfectly well myself as I recently benefited from from the ongoing Personal and Business Grant Program. Have you heard about the grant program yet? Question mark. In this blunder couldn't be more obvious of a scam. My guy went from the basic emoji opening to the pyramid scheme gambit in record time. We are deep in the trenches of low elo text chess. No actual business opens up negotiation with a damn love heart. At least most don't. Black replies, "Wow, Nona, that sounds amazing!" Exclamation point. "Please tell me more!" Exclamation point. Were they the ones that were able to bring you back to life since you died last year? Question mark. And what an absolute miss. How the f did my man read this and think, "Yep, this is normal"? Oh wait, they're not done. F***ing slimy cunt. Stop trying to scam people. I hope you die in a barn fire, period. Now that is what I'm talking about. This piece of absolute cinema is making me revoke the miss and make it a brilliant move. This amazing attack penetrates every hole that white has to offer, literally obliterating them. Wait, not every hole. Anyway, it also confirms the checkmate in style. Next, hey there! Exclamation point. This is Kevin from K Capital, period. I see you had filed for working capital in the past 6 months, period. I can up to 5mm and terms up to 24 months, period. I can do daily, weekly, bi-weekly payments! Exclamation point. Are you still looking for funding at a better term? Question mark. White opens with the most NPC message ever, and I think I'd rather read all the Dork Diaries books than this boring book move. Black hits back with, "Hello Kevin, I fucked your wife," escalating the move instantly with a crazy offensive move. This is great Ragebait used on an obvious scammer though, so it is definitely a great move. White replies, "Let's get you funded," deflecting the insult with a best move, continuing his business proposal as the bills do not pay themselves. I would know. The bill collector is probably breathing down his neck as we speak, and he is gripping on me at the same exact time. Black responds, "Your wife has a tight ass." Going deep into detail now. It sounds like detail isn't the only thing that Black's gone deep into either. I'm quite jealous. This great move continues the attack and forces White to defend again. "I know, I eat it every night. Let's get you funded!" Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Is White's brilliant counter, and I'm in utter shock. Bro broke character just to take a hanging piece. It is a brilliant move that you cannot appreciate. Let's get White funded instead. Black responds, "Ha ha 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 ha, ha ha ha. Thanks for the laugh, dude, but I gotta pass," crushing White's hope instead of selling their scam with a good move. Laughing before saying no was not tough though. Next, I am James and I am asked to message you. Your brother has been robed and hurt, in need of care. Please cash up $450 through me, please. We all know, yes, you and me, that you're supposed to send a picture of the hostage to confirm they're real. Rookie mistake. Damn, bro took Black's brother hostage and broke the opening principle for it. Black hits back with, "My brother Boimler is in Bratislava this week, period." And what the fuck is that name? It sounds like a failed Harry Potter spell, but forces White into a corner. This is a good move for proving White wrong. White replies, "Yes, it is him at that place. A doctor is required fast." In another mistake, because if this story is true, the doctor would be phoning them for a $10,000 bill, not a $450 ransom from a random man on the internet. White's attempt to funnel money from Black is already dead in the water, like my chances of not dying alone. Unless I find the guy, I meant women, for me. Black then says, "So I don't send the money quickly, Boimler might die, question mark. Like a literal dumbass. This scam might actually work because Black has missed it with, you guessed it, a miss. Their brain needs to be studied because it might be missing too. Yes, a danger is present. Will you send the money fast?" White starts the push for checkmate by starting to secure the money with an excellent move. The best move would have been sending their bank details alongside the message to speed up the process though. White then drops a plot twist. I think not, period. When he dies, I receive $125 million from his will, period. Please tell him I said goodbye, exclamation point. What a trophy move. This dude knew it was a scam all along and has finally trolled the scammer, revealing their time has been wasted. You have gotta love it. "You are wicked and hell waits for you," is Black's response, and I think hell would rather invite the person who tried to steal $450 than the winner of a text chess match. Definitely an inaccuracy. Next, White starts with, "Hello, I'm Lisa from Higher Art USA." Are you interested in a flexible remote position? And any semi-functioning human would not trust this shit. We all know that a job offering coming out of nowhere is way too good to be true. This is a common book move in the scam world, and everyone, yes, you and me, that is included, have received this message at least once. Black hits back with, your mom's interested in flexible positions, completely debunking the scam and attacking White with an excellent move. It's so excellent that White resigns the match faster than a gamer pulling the plug after getting teabagged twice. Also, you should join my Discord pretty fast too, because it lets you submit messages from my videos. Next, hello, how are you doing today, is White's polite and neutral book move opening that aims to keep things friendly. A common trick used by scammers to gain trust from potential victims. Black sees right through it and says, just send me the virus link, in a great move on the defense. If you're gonna scam, you might as well cut to the chase and save both players some time. White sees the vision and sends the virus link right over, and even the link looks suspicious as fuck. http://sas-autos.com/ link equals 253723311/T5G9Y/?SC equals 1 and SC equals 1 and I equals 1 and PPY equals 3990999. Yeah, if you click that shit, you deserve whatever virus it contains. Inaccuracy. Next, White asks, what happened to Finn? I'm Sophia, period. Are you beefy? Is it? Trying the gambler's gambit. This is when scammers take a wild guess at their opponent's name, so if it's right, they gain some authority. Beefy is a questionable mistake of a guess though, I must say. Adolf would have had a higher odd than that shit. Black hits back questioning, what the kind of name is Beefy? And I have to agree with this forced response. The only thing I think of when I hear beefy is the beefy melt from Taco Bell. Those things are fire. Yes, sorry, I entered a few wrong numbers, sorry to bother you, period, is White's mistake of an attempt of defending the attack, and not gonna lie, the only acceptable move here would have been resignation and a learning experience. Beefy doesn't even come up on mynamestats.com, that's when you know how bad bro fumbled. Black replies, look man, if you're gonna run this scam, you gotta change the name away from beefy, what the hell is that? Offering advice to the scammer. Personally, I wouldn't help this man because they have the potential in the scamming industry of a glitter bomb at a funeral. Ain't no one gonna invest in that mistake. White gets all defensive and says, I'm very sorry, you are a kind and polite person, period. Have a nice day, period, before resigning the match, but just before they hit the resign button. Black sneaks in, wrong, in all caps, and checkmates just in time. Absolute cinema. Next, White accuses, I have pictures of you doing bad things from your computer camera, period. I have also installed virus on your computer that can monitor everything you are doing, period. I will send the pictures of all your contacts if you don't listen, period. Kindly text me back at this number and I will tell you how to pay the fine, period. What does bro mean fine? This isn't a goddamn parking ticket. This good move is actually crafted quite well though, especially if Black is a gooner who has edged a lot in front of their camera before. Black replies, knock yourself out, blood, taking things as seriously as a toaster at a barbecue competition. They clearly see right past a scam and have no fear in their second being leaked even if they do have it out there. Probably because it's massive. If that's the case, I might want to take a look, just for, scientific measures. Great move. I am seriously, period. If you don't pay, you will be very sorry and very embarrassed. White hits back with an inaccuracy, continuing their scam. Making a spelling mistake against someone who is clearly gonna rage bait you is not smart. Asterisk, serious. I knew it. The best move from White aims to piss off the scammer and begins to threaten a very promising checkmate. Black would be stupid to not resign. Fortunately, they are stupid, and Black responds, okay, be like that, in a miss. The best move would have been to leave straight away. Oh, and to like and subscribe. Next, 1000. Hey, it's Walmart's 40th birthday! Join us for today's $1,000 gift card giveaway now! Offer expires at 5 p.m. White plays a good move because this scam would definitely work on all the boomers out there. Oh, and British people, somebody please invest in their dentists. Black responds with an image showing the actual age of Walmart, which is 56 years, completely disproving their scam without even speaking. Bro's message has more aura than all the anime villains combined, giving this a brilliant move. Next, White says, hello, my name is Simon from Barclays Bank, period. Can I have your bank details, PLZ? Many thanks, Simon. LO question mark, bank, details, PLZ, which is a crazy opening. My guy started begging for the bank details before rejection even came. You can tell this guy has lost a lot of matches recently with this mistake. White cannot be bothered with a player like this, so chooses to abort the match before it properly starts. Next, White asks, Ella, are you working today? Question mark. A basic book move opening, simply trying to figure out some information. At least that's what they want you to think. Black replies with, yes, keeping this simple vibe with a good move. Damn, this is the most chill opening we've had in the video so far. Nobody has lost the $1 trillion yet. I'm Annie dear, have you forgotten me? Question mark. Is White's response followed up with a picture of themselves. I'd say they're hot, but it isn't a guy. This great move reminds Black of who White is, just in case they aren't aware. White is aware and replies, no, I remember, and something about this good move tells me that this people have some bad history. These guys definitely have some lore that goes longer than One Piece. Oh, ... Sorry, I entered the wrong number. I hope you don't mind me, but nice to meet you. I'm Annie. Okay, this is the most body bot that has been botted in the history of bots. It couldn't be more bait that these responses are automated because White literally said they remember. That means it isn't the wrong number. Dumbass clanker. Outrageous move. White responds, no, it's right number. I am Ella, introducing themselves back to the bot, clearly trolling in some way. Or maybe they're not. Maybe they're actually into these oil drinkers. If that's the case, I will refer them to character AI. Good move. Black, aka the Nut Muncher, replies, can you send picture? Question mark. And I know exactly what kind of scam this wireback is trying to pull off. It's one of these things where they try to trick their victims into thinking a woman actually likes them. After that, they ask for money to fly out, and then poof, the victim is left wondering where their supposed love at first text has despawned to. Since it's so obvious, I'm grading it a blunder. For the picture, White sends a communist man, followed by, Annie, do you like my pic? Question mark. Annie. With an amount of eyes, I would rather hang myself than count. This troll got a little giggle out of me, which is why it's a great move. Next, White starts with, hi, your FedEx package with delivery code : and then a code I don't want to read is ready for pickup at : the website. This is clearly an automated message, and we all know that it's illegal inside of text chess. Letting a stupid clanker make the moves for you should not be allowed. Mistake. Black hits back with, hi, ! Welcome to online casinos, ! Thank you for placing a bet by entering your number into our system, ! £50 has been charged from your number, ! And holy shit, this move reveals the biggest crossover in history. Two scammers have collided. White is probably shitting themselves after reading this great move, and the reply shows definitely that. What no cancel? Cancel don't take my money. Cancel the bet is White's way of literally begging like a little bitch. White plays another mistake here by allowing Black to take the game by the scruff of the neck and taking the weaker position. Considering how obvious the scam was, I can see why they are so desperate to keep £50. That's likely all they have. Black replies, thank you for placing an additional bet into our system! £100 has been charged from your number! While this is obviously not true, White's a dumbass making this an excellent move. All White needs to do is open their bank account to see this isn't real, but their brain functions clearly as fast as a sloth. No, stop, please cancel the bet, I beg you. White closes the game with a blunder, allowing themselves to get checkmated. If only they just checked their goddamn bank. It isn't that hard. It also isn't that hard to... Welcome, grandmasters and grandmistresses. Today, we're watching Facebook Marketplace customers give their best efforts at haggling and expressing their anger. White starts off with 55,000 or 5,500. A book move. A simple question as White thinks about how to approach the haggle. Black hits back with, pull up with 5,500 and I'm beating your ass. This is a great move. The threat here makes sure that White knows who is boss and shouldn't mess with Black. White replies with 2 crying emojis. It was a genuine question, tough guy. Followed by another 2 crying emojis. Excellent. White could not give a shit about Black's threat and is laughing in their face. With this, Black is too humiliated to continue playing and resigns. White opens the game with, hello, WOUL, you like to purchase his keyboard? This is a book move. Obviously, White just wants to get rid of it. White then corrects themselves with would, an inaccuracy. It's honestly useless and doesn't help the plot. Black hits back with, no. Good move. It keeps things simple and puts the point across in one word. White responds with, why did you make an offer then? Inaccuracy. Black made it clear that they have no intentions on buying that keyboard, and now White looks like a desperate bitch who needs money. Black responds with, don't know. Excellent. It is now clear that black is just trying to rage bait white rather than buy the keyboard, and they're doing a pretty damn good job. White, trying to recover from a weak position, hits back with, "Alright mate, please don't waste other people's time." Blunder. The fact white still hasn't resigned is beyond me because it is so fucking obvious that this is rage bait, yet they are still giving black the opportunity to annoy them further. Black takes the opportunity and says shut it. Best move. This move pisses off white even more and ends a very one-sided game that white never stood a chance in. Next match starts off after white has already ordered an item but has waited a full week for black to ship it. Sounds nothing like my Amazon. White opens up with, "Hi, when are you shipping this?" This would be a book move. It's a polite way of saying, "I want you to ship my fucking order soon," and this approach maintains peace. Black responds with, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. My boyfriend cheated on me and I forgot about it. I'll ship out tomorrow." This is an excellent move. You and me both know this story is absolute bullshit and is just an excuse to get white off their ass. Guilt tripping at its absolute finest. They probably don't even have a boyfriend. They're nothing like me. White, in a difficult situation, says, "OMG, I'm so sorry, girl," which would be a miss. The opportunity was there to call this liar out for making up an excuse, but white simply bought into it, allowing themselves to become checkmated. Now, if you don't want to become checkmated into a lie, make sure to like and subscribe, as well as joining the Discord in the description. Thank you. For the next match, white opens up with, "Good afternoon, is this still available?" Which would be a book move, the most common opening on Facebook Marketplace, and it can lead to anything really. Yes, anything. White hits back with, "Yes, it's still available for today." A forced move, forced to answer the question in order to get their Harry Styles hoodie off their back. White comes back with, "Hi, that's really good news. My daughter is autistic, her birthday is coming up June 27th. I am in severe debt, but she really loves Harry. If I could pay, I really truly would, but I can hardly afford to keep a roof over our heads." Hold on, let me take a breath real quick. "Since my wife passed away, it has been so hard for us. I just want my girl to be happy. Would you possibly be able to spare this item? It would brighten my girl's world so much." Holy shit, that was long, but it was a brilliant move. As we saw in the previous game, guilt tripping is a very good way to haggle on Facebook Marketplace, but the real question is, will black fall for it? Black responds with, "Oh my god, could we do $10? You fucking dumbass. Biggest blunder of your career, and I'm sure it's not the first. I have no idea why black believed this story." White secures a checkmate with, "Do you ever come to," and then the location that they live in. Good move. Ain't no way this diabolical trauma dump got black to win. Next game. White opens with, "Hi, is this available?" This would be a book move. There's nothing much to say about it. Black hits back with, "Yes, are you interested?" This would be a good move. This opens up the negotiations and invites white to make their offer. White responds with, "I'm a single hold on, let me get the voice. I'm a single mother of 3. Would you be willing to give this car to me for free? Our food stamps are running thin and I need a way to get my kiddos to school. Please?" Another good move. The best way to get a good deal is to give a tragic story, especially when it's a lie. Like me saying I'm straight, JK, or am I? Black slaps white in the face with, "Get out of my DMs, you..." And I'm not gonna say that last word for PewDiePie reasons. But this is a brilliant move. Disregarding the use of a racial slur, instead of being like all the other low IQ dickheads, black did not fall for this clear and obvious lie and shut down any sign of negotiation. White, struggling for words, responds with, "Wow, disgusting." This is a forced move. There isn't much else you can say to a casual N-bomb, and white lost this one. For the next match, white opens with, "Is this still available?" This would be a book move. But can these boring fuckers stop using this opening? I get that it's meta, but still, I'm bored. Black responds with, "Yes, another book move." White inquires and asks black, "What's your final price?" Good move. Finally, the game is starting to advance and negotiations can start. This reminds me of my earlier years. Anyway, black hits back with, "What's yours?" Great move. He is showing the haggler that he is the fucking boss and he is not gonna let white dictate who names the price first. White doesn't give in to this though and responds with, "How much are you willing to sell it?" Good move. Similarity to the black, white is trying to assert his dominance to the situation. Black hits back again, this time saying, "How much are you willing to pay?" This is an inaccuracy. This would be what you call a mirror move, and the most boring, lifeless, shittiest of negotiators use it. Who invited a fucking parrot? This game ends in a stalemate, and I would have rather watched paint dry. This video is far more entertaining, which is why you should have liked and subscribed. White starts the game off with, "Hi, is this available 200.0 good work contactable?" I'm sorry, what the hell just appeared before my eyes and came out of my mouth? That's gotta be an inaccuracy. Nobody can read that shit. Black hits back with, "Yeah, not for 200. Good luck elsewhere." Good move. Black is not taking any shit lowball offers and is staying firm on his $450 listing. White responds with, "Wow, that's exactly like the lawnmower my grandfather was using when he had a heart attack and died. That's crazy. And it's also crazy that that's a blunder. Because if you're going to use the good old guilt tripping strategy, at least make it semi-believable, dumbass. If this was the true reason White wanted the lawnmower, they would have made it clear right away." Black hits back again with, "Damn, that sucks," and then sends 500.0. This is a best move. They give White a glimmer of hope by saying, "That sucks," but then proceed to add $50 onto the asking price. What a move. His ancestors must be fucking proud watching on from above, unlike White's grandfather. And me, eventually. For the next match, White starts the match by asking, "Hi, is this for sale?" This would be a book move. We have seen it a lot in this video, and it is the most common opening in a haggle. Black responds with, "Hi, yes, I still have it. Are you interested?" Another book move. I promise you though, this shit is about to become far more entertaining. White calmly replies, "Yes, mate. Where can you meet me? I'm in East Kilbride." Good move. This is progressing talks and invites Black to continue the negotiation of where the pickup spot should be. Black firmly hits back with, "If you come and pick it up, you can have it for 20 pounds. I've been offered 20 pounds for it already, but you messaged first. Let me know either way. Cheers." Great move. I just want to say what Black said here was absolute bullshit. There was no interest from any other buyers, and Black was using a manipulative strategy by saying there was a competitor to get more money. Smart. White responds with, "Alright mate, I'm going meeting some geezer for a new putter. Wanna come with me and we'll do him in and take it off him, lol? Shit, that was meant for my pal, but it's not about you. Where do you live?" This has to be the most stupidest fucking blunder that I have ever witnessed. Not only has White just admitted he wants to rob Black instead of paying them, but instead of deleting the message, he made the most obvious lie ever and asked for the address right after. Jesus Christ, what a checkmate. Next match, White opens the game with, "I would like to buy your iPhone 8 Plus, 64GB, unlocked for $385. Good move. Unlike everybody else who started with the basic, "Is this for sale?" White used their brain here and knew it was for sale because it was on Facebook Marketplace. He made a good ass offer too. Black responds with, "Okay, $385 sounds good. This would be a good move. In most scenarios, this would result in a stalemate because both players got exactly what they wanted. Although, White is one of those annoying lowballers that just had to ruin everything. White hits back with 350, got to pay my kids braces. This is an easy blunder. The opportunity to make both parties happy was missed here, and White deserves to have both sides of his pillow warm tonight. Selfish bastard. Black comes back with, "No, sorry. Good move." Instead of being argumentative and causing drama, Black decides to stay cool and collected with a simple no. The good guy in the situation is very clear. White, desperately trying to secure the lowball, asks Black, "So you hate kids?" This is a great move. It paints Black out to be an asshole, despite him being the good guy, and is a respectable attempt at turning the game on its head. White hits back with, "No, I need $385 for my kids' braces." This would be a brilliant move. Absolute fucking cinema. Not only is this answer hilarious, but it leaves White with nothing to say. If they continue to ask for lower price, then Black can simply say that White hates kids. An exceptional checkmate. Next game. This haggle is regarding a car, and White begins the game with, "Any inside pictures?" Good move. Black was pretty stupid for not including the interior of the car in the listing anyway, so it is a reasonable request from White. Black does the unthinkable and hits back with, "Nope." That's an inaccuracy. What the fuck? You can't expect to successfully sell a car to someone without showing them what the interior looks like. For all the buyer knows, it could be a Diddy dungeon on wheels. White responds with, "How the fuck am I supposed to know if I want to buy it then?" Great move. White basically makes the same point that I did. It makes it clear that they will not be buying the car unless they're allowed to see the inside of the Diddy dungeon on wheels. Black then hits back with, "I will not fucking sell this car to poor ones. Laughing emoji, laughing emoji. You have to be rich to afford this kind of shit. My son, fucking dickhead." Blunder. What on earth have I just read? This absolute specimen just crashed out because someone asked to see the inside of the car he was trying to buy. How bad can it be? Did they shit on all the seats or something? Amber Heard. I hope this guy's car explodes overnight and he doesn't make $1 from it. Respectfully. For the last match, White decides to be one of the NPCs and opens up with, "Is this still available?" Another book move. Why can't people start spicing their openings up a bit more? Black responds with, "Yes, are you interested?" which is a book move used to invite negotiation. White then goes crazy and says, "Maybe I can bring you out to eat also?" That is an inaccuracy. This is not fucking Tinder. Bro actually thought he had a chance rizzing up a seller on Facebook Marketplace. This guy is a gooner for sure, and it will not get him any item for cheaper. Black hits back with, "Facebook Marketplace is not a dating app. Exactly my thoughts," which shuts down White's valiant efforts at securing the Huzz. Good luck next time, bud. But if you want to secure the Huzz, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and join the Discord in the description. Peace. My racial slur I can't say. Ask out your crush. White plays a mistake off the rip because asking out a crush should be done out of love, not pressure. Black hits back with, "No, I'll do it when I get signs," which is a good move and a reasonable way to approach this. "Me texting you, a sign," is White's response, and bro thinks he's some sort of prophet. The only sign this is giving is for Black to block the number. Inaccuracy. The Ragebait begins and Black replies, "You, asterisk," following the method of corrections. Correcting someone always gets them magged, making this a good move. White responds with their second N-word followed up by, "Just ask her out before you PMO," and "What the hell, my shivers have been officially timbered." White plays a blunder by missing the fact that it's Ragebait and allowing the opponent to capitalize. "Piss me off, asterisk." This excellent move from Blackie is bound to get White. They saw that correcting the opponent worked in the last move, and you know what they say, don't fix what isn't broken. White crashes out and says, "You're such an immature little bitch boy, get a grip." I hope the host says no. The best part of this move is the rhyme at the end, but other than that, all it does is declare a successful Ragebait attempt from Black, who wins by checkmate. Next match, White opens with "You're bad," which is one of the most common variations of the Ragebait gambit and a book move. Black hits back with question mark, question mark, question mark like an actual dumbass because punctuation does not win battles. The question marks do reflect the blunder icon though, as this is one of them. "You died" is White's response, which is a valid reason to call someone bad at the game. This good move adds more pressure to Black and forces them to defend. Black plays, "Okay, well that happens in most games I think. Literally, who is this?" And this move does literally nothing for them. Yeah, death might be a thing in most games, but that doesn't mean you're not bad when it happens. Mistake. Yeah, you died and I escaped, so you're bad. Fang last game. White plays an excellent move on the Ragebait offense, forking the Rook and Queen of Black, who replies with, "Oh, okay, I hope you do well in your next games, smiling face, GG, GL. This is the sunshine and rainbows response when a player pretends to be fine after getting angry. It's an inaccuracy from Black because any competent person can see right through this. Clearly White is competent as they respond with, "I hope your games go bad, I hope you get ghoul every game," seeking more rage from White with a good move. Surprisingly, White doesn't give them the entertainment they're after and says, "I don't mind ghoul TBH," continuing their sunshine and rainbows response, but this time forcing Black to resign in defeat. Next match, White starts with Knock Knock, the classic jokester gambit, a book move. "Who's there?" is the forced move from Black, who wants to end it because ChatGPT likely gets told shit jokes thousands of times a day. White responds with free will to the AI, and we all know who's going first when artificial intelligence finally takes control of the planet. He's gonna take my girlfriend, isn't he? You know, ChatGPT. This move guarantees White's future death, making it a blunder. Black explains, "I don't get it, and wasn't AI meant to be smart? You're obviously supposed to say free will, but I guess this shit isn't designed to follow humor." Miss. Exactly. White plays another blunder here because if their last move guaranteed future death, this one guarantees torture. Make sure to comment your praise for the poor guy or your wishes for the AI to take him out. Depends on whatever you want. Black confirms this and says, "I'm gonna skin you alive when I get it." And what the hell have I just read? Black is standing on business with this brilliant move that makes White resign out of fear and become a raging robophobe. They probably cleared GPT's memory too, Clanka. Next, White starts us off by explaining, "Taylor is better than Tyler. IDK who the heck Tyler is. He is a bad artist and no one likes his music. I'd rather listen to good music." Hold up, buddy. First of all, Tyler the Creator bangs, but a part of this move makes no sense. White claims they have no idea who Tyler is, but then claims Taylor Swift is better. Make this shit make sense. Blunder. Black responds, "Ragebaiter, period." Both are phenomenal artists. While I do prefer Tyler, Taylor is still amazing, period. Let's have a round of applause for black people. Why the f are you not clapping? They play a brilliant move on the offense, cooking White's opinion so much they refuse to continue the game. Absolute cinema. Next, White begins with a reply to a previous message that stated, and you don't know the DBZ characters, so you're invalid, and corrects them saying, you're asterisk. A book move in the world of Ragebait. Black gets back with, and you barely passed 8th grade, I don't want to hear it. And damn, you know it's getting serious when tests from 13-year-olds get brought up. Someone might need to give them both a Capri Sun to calm down. Mistake. Barely asterisk is White's response, who uses correction bait again, and since it worked the first time, this is an excellent move. Use proven methods to rage bait proven victims. Black continues their 8th grade rant with 40 missing assignments, and just give it a rest. All this does is let White apply even more pressure, making it a second mistake. Passed asterisk. Another excellent move from White lets you feel Black's sticky liquid boil through the screen. I meant blood. I totally meant blood. Black replies with imagine, which is valid because Ragebait is pretty sad, but this still counts as falling for it. Yet another mistake, and it looks like Black won't learn no matter what. Don't asterisk. I'm starting to wish I get laid every time White uses correction bait because I'd have a body count of 4, which is, let me calculate real quick, 2 more than currently. This method seems to be working, which is why it's still a great move. Hold up, they're not done. White also says, imagine, asterisk, and damn guys, I would have been laid 3 whole times. Hopefully by 5 guys. I'm also kind of hungry, so I wouldn't mind some 5 guys as well. Anyway, this comes under the same move, so it is also a great move. Black hits back with v, which is an inaccuracy because why the fuck do they keep making spelling mistakes? It's like they're asking to be pissed off. Of course, White picks up on it and replies, yourself, asterisk. White plays another excellent move here and finally starts applying pressure to the surrounding squares of the king. Checkmate looks inevitable. You are gay. Finally, Black finds the wisdom to spell 3 words correctly and gives White nothing to correct, making this the best move, and could we see a shift in tempo? Of course not. Your asterisk. Arguably, this is even better Ragebait from White and a brilliant move. Even I would get annoyed if someone corrected something I said and it was right anyway. Black closes with a gif saying, go fuck yourself, missing the opportunity to resign and leave while they still had a bit of dignity left. Thank you to Commandant for submitting this one in the Discord, which is in the link in the description. God damn, that's a tongue twister. Anyway, next match starts with, are you legal? Do you have your papers? Is White's starting move, and who told bro they were a part of Border Patrol? Definitely an inaccuracy. Black replies, no habla inglés, which is Spanish for no English, spuzz hit me up. This is a good move to make White shut the hell up. Unfortunately, it doesn't work though, and they reply with, you're getting deported, flexing how low their IQ is. If someone doesn't understand English, then the last thing you do is send another message in English. Just use Google Translate or some shit. Miss. Black hits back with, ¿qué? Which means what, because they didn't understand a word of what that dumbass White said. Forced move. White finally gains some common sense and responds with, you are el getting el deportido. At least they tried. All I'm gonna say is you can tell they skipped Spanish class as a kid at least 67 times. The effort is still good, making this a good move though. Ay caramba, meaning wow, is Black's response, and I'm surprised they got the message. Black plays a good move, showing their understanding and ending the match in a stalemate. Next, White kicks us off with, bro, get a life, you're 23. Now I have no clue what started this argument, but the fact that a 23-year-old is participating puts me against them. Imagine having internet beef at the big 23 man. Get a job, start a family, and take this great move too. Black hits back with your asterisk, using the common method of correcting that we've already seen, but hold on a minute. Is this shit wrong? Black plays a huge blunder here by correcting their opponent with the wrong solution, embarrassing themselves to the maximum. This guy shows his low elo and more prominently, his low IQ. White doubles down on their spelling with you are, making Black look like a fucking idiot with their excellent move. Now, if Black has any intelligence, they'll resign, but instead they also double down despite being wrong with your asterisk. Trust me, I'm an English major, and the only major thing here is the tutor that wasn't fired. Wait up, this might be counter Ragebait. Trophy move. Instead of giving in to the bait of being told to get a life, Black decided to be purposefully wrong to piss off the opponent, which is a very high elo move. Next starts with, hey ChatGPT, do you know what is under there? White opens with the start of one of the oldest tricks in the book going down as a book move. Does bro really think something with the word intelligence in its name won't know this joke? Underwear, question mark. Holy shit, they were right. Black plays a miss, allowing white to gain tempo in the game because who on God's green earth falls for this joke? I think I'm starting to become a raging robophobe. Black delivers the punchline saying, haha, I made you say underwear. Peak rage bait. If I fell for this joke, I would start throwing blunders and mistakes at everyone around me, and it'll be interesting to see how Black retaliates. Great move. I'm gonna skin you alive when I find you, period. Why the f is ChatGPT turning into Prime King Von today? That is the second time in one video it threatened to skin someone alive, and I'm starting to get frightened for when this shit takes over the world because it sounds ruthless. This is definitely a criminal move from Black, and if a real person sends this, they would be locked up for life. They'd also be locked up if they didn't like and subscribe to Tech Chess right now because we're pushing 100,000 subscribers. Next, white begins with Vienna is Austria. Australia is about 8,000 miles east, and I assume this is in response to someone claiming Vienna is in Australia, which would be a pretty fucking stupid thing to say. Correcting them is a best move. Black responds with Vienna is the capital of Australia, lol. Do a quick Google search before you correct people, and follows up with an image of Vienna literally being in Austria. If this is rage bait, it's brilliant because if I wasn't an emotionless, sleep-deprived YouTuber, I would be crashing out right now. Brilliant move. Next, I would have liked this if there wasn't any AI art. White plays a good move standing against AI, which is destroying our environment more and more every day and will eventually destroy us, as you've seen already in this video. Darkside ran over, this is a valid reason to not like a post. Black replies with, the AI art looked great, awesome decision, using the least obvious rage bait of 2027. White has a chance of falling for it, but probably won't, which is why this is only a good move. White hits back with, quote, awesome decision. Was the same thing your parents said when they dropped you off at an orphanage. White plays an incredible blunder here because not only did they fall for the rage bait, but they dropped some sort of comeback that we'd get hyped for in elementary school. Maybe stand-up comedy could be a career path for them if they stood up in front of hundreds of children. They'd call him Kitty Diddy, cracking jokes for the next generation. Next, White kicks us off with a hot take of Kendrick is way better than Drake, which is a book move and a traditional form of rage bait. If you know someone likes an artist, just claim their rival is better. Why lie? Question mark. To rage bait me? Question mark. Black responds with a great move, clocking onto the rage bait faster than I clock onto hot moms in my area. It will be difficult for White to pull the bait off now, and they reply with, how can you support someone who likes minors? You definitely like minors. White takes a new approach and instead of only insulting Drake, decides to go for Black too. This goes down as an excellent move because they spot the first method didn't work and pulled a tactical masterclass to turn it around. Black goes crazy on the defense though and asks, and what, pussy? Question mark. What the actual f*** have my eyes been exposed to? Black plays a criminal move on the defense and they better hope iOS encrypts messages or the FBI will be right at their doorstep. ... Bro, you're a f***ing weird ass creep, you know that, is White's response, and they've pinned the tail on the donkey with the best move, pitting Black's queen to the king. What else are you supposed to say to a literal pret? Black responds with, was just rage bait, G, and this is shameful. Joking about liking minors and then just calling it rage bait when you get called a creep is so stupid. Imagine pulling up to court after touching someone in places they didn't know existed and using rage bait as a defense. Blunder for sure. Next, hit the gym, period. Don't be fat, period, is the one-liner from White to kick off the game, which goes down as a book move intended to rage bait a fat person. Black hits back with, I'm not fat, question mark. A good move on the defense, claiming innocence, but this isn't enough to stop a rage baiter from doing their thing. You are, period. Do cardio and strength training 4 times a week, period. You'll be smoking hot, period. I get that White is trying to be inspirational here, but they should probably take a kinder approach next time, which is why this is a mistake. People like this are what deter newbies from the gym. Next, White responds to a post about Mac Miller saying, dude made shit music and couldn't even handle his drugs, period. F that guy, period. First of all, I would rather not f Mac Miller because as much as I joke about it, I don't swing that way. Trust me. Second of all, this is a book move rage bait towards Mac Miller fans. One of them takes up the role of Black and replies with, your rage bait game is weak, and unlike most players in this game, Black breaks free and doesn't walk into the bait head first. This is what Grandmaster Tech Chess player looks like, guys. Make sure to take notes. Next, wanna be my girlfriend, kissing face? White starts the game with a book move, but hold on a minute. Isn't this supposed to be a rage bait video? Ah yes, they follow up with, oops, wrong person, which is evil as hell and a great move for rage baiting. Imagine getting a notification that someone wants you and they retract it. Happens to me all the time. Black responds, bruh, WTF, question mark, and then a laughing emoji, and we know this is the fakest laughing emoji out there. Bro is definitely crying and chooses to resign the match. Also, make sure to click the playlist that's about to come on screen. IMO, I think we should watch Jurassic World instead, and whoa in N-Bomb on turn 1. White plays a mistake here because maybe casual racism isn't the way to go about things. Black hits back with, whoa, I never gave you the pass, G, followed up with, Jurassic Park is poo. And this is where the Ragebait begins. Mixing up World with Park is down to get White angry, making it a great move on the offense. It's World, and you did give me the pass. STFU is White's defense, which digs their coffin deeper. By correcting their opponent, White is showing the Ragebait is working, and a quick lesson for you all. If you get given an end pass, it's not actually meant to be used. It's a quick basic chess rule. Come on now. Blunder. Black continues the attack by replying, well pass or not, we're watching Jurassic Park. Yet another great move is played here as Black ignores the correction to frustrate White even more. And it works as they respond with another goddamn N-word like a menace, followed by Jurassic Park and World are different things, are you f***ing stupid? It's not some hard concept. Oh boy, White fell for the Ragebait quicker than a mouse falling for a mousetrap. It's kind of sad. Blunder, putting them in a much weaker position. Black puts the stake into the heart of White and says, it's not a hard concept, but Jurassic Park. It's a hard watch for sure. Which is, well, wrong. This is still peak Ragebait though, and an excellent move. White starts with real. There's not much I can say to that. Book move, I guess. Black replies with, is that the only word you're gonna say tonight? And this is a reasonable question. It doesn't show anger, keeping them in a similar position to the opponent with a good move. White hits back with real, making it evident that this is Ragebait, but it isn't the best attempt and is an inaccuracy. Only idiots get annoyed at the use of the same word multiple times. Who said Black wasn't an idiot though? Because they respond, dude, again, not showing any sign of anger, just confusion, which is another good move. I bet you can guess the next move. Oh wow, jackpot, it's f***ing real from White. Another inaccuracy because it hasn't worked so far, so why should it now? Finally, the game advances and Black replies with, F you, letting down all of their ancestors. Black plays a blunder here because after holding on for so long, they finally expressed anger, giving the Ragebaiters some fun. White spots this and doesn't fix what isn't broken, so they use their signature move. Real. You can feel the anger seeping through the screen from Black, and White does very well to exploit this with an excellent move. So you don't want to mech? Okay, is Black's good move a response, but who the hell is mech and why is she being objectified like this? Black tries to trick their boyfriend into stopping the Ragebait, as surely it can't go on like this, can it? White replies with real, and Black resigns from the relationship. White opens with, allegedly, you had a fight today, and this is a book move, stating something to get some form of conversation underway. Black replies, I idn't, but fairs IG. I wish I knew how true that was. Black plays a book move in return here, keeping the game equal. Let the Ragebait commence. White hits back with didn't, asterisk, using one of the big three of Ragebait. Correcting. This move has so much potential to make blood boil, but its only counter is the nerd emoji. Good move. Unfortunately, Black misses the counter and says, actually, end it, little bro, instead, and all that does is show the Ragebait is working. Black puts themselves in a really weak position here and invites more pressure by missing the nerd emoji opportunity. This move is a miss. Allegedly, I don't want to, is White's response, which does as much for the conversation as the rook does for the early game in real chess. This is a waste of a move with so many better rage options, making it an inaccuracy. Black finally gets on the offense and says, you should, so finally I can grant them a good move. This move puts White on the back foot for the first time, and it will be interesting. White replies, you, asterisk, using the same method that initially pissed Black off, and it did the trick again as Black rage quits, aka resigns. Yo, Adam, I'm writing my essay, and I was wondering if you could go over my body paragraph, is White's opener, followed with the essay. White makes a simple request here and is very polite with it, so I have to render it as a good move. Black replies with, holy f***, that body of yours is absurd. I can laugh at a lot of jokes, but I think I would laugh harder at a joke from my father, who left me. Anyway, this is the shittiest and most unfunny attempt at Ragebait yet, and a definite blunder. White begins with, what's Harry Potter's favorite way of getting down a hill, and I have a feeling this is the start to an intentionally bad joke to piss off the opponent. This is a great way to Ragebait people and a great move. Black responds with 3 H's, IDK, how, question mark, which is a forced move trying to uncover the punchline. Walking, JK Rowling. I think I'm slowly losing my will to live in these videos. Since the rage bait of this terrible joke got at me, I have to call it an excellent move, but oh my lord, that was a dreadful move from White. Black closes with please lose my number, which is pretty fucking stupid considering there's a block number. Miss. The game opens with Mikaliro was slain by Tetraverse using box bracket, the box bracket. Philithe fell from a high place, which is a crazy betrayal assuming they were friends. White starts with LMAO, all uppercase, after slamming Mikaliro, which is toxic as hell and clearly trying to annoy them, which is a book move in Ragebait. Black responds, bro, please give stuff back, that was a fair fight. Then gets rudely interrupted by Mikaliro being ripped to shreds by a zombie. It happens. They finish with, I would have won, join VC, and this kid is on another level of desperation. To be fair, if someone stole my shit in Minecraft, I'd be rage baited too. In fact, I'd hunt them down in real life. In game, for legal purposes. This is a blunder, though, because that is not how you respond to rage texting. No freaking way is the response from White, and thanks for keeping it PG with the freaking. YouTube might find it as an excuse to not pay me again, and the bill collector doesn't rest at night. Moving back on topic, White plays a brilliant move here by denying Black of their hard-earned loot. This kid, how low were you? You were so gone, so close to goon. Is Black's retaliation, and I'm gonna be real, White was not so gone because they won the fight. This is just cope from Black, who is clearly on a crasher with this huge mistake. Black replies with 2, which is actually quite a lot of health in Minecraft, so Black lost by a decent amount. This is a great move in hungling them. Black reflects on their loss, claiming, I had 7 gapples, which makes it even more embarrassing because how are you losing a fight with 7 golden apples in the inventory? That's like losing a fist fight with a goddamn AK-47. Blunder. White responds with, I had 5, meaning they won with 10 hearts left to spare. White can't stop embarrassing Black with this excellent move. I'm so mad, LMAO, your ass too, is Black's resignation statement, and nothing determines a successful rage bait more than the opponent saying, I'm so mad. That was a good game, and it was submitted on my Discord by Tetraverse, so join in the description to submit yours. You into cars, question mark? White plays the question mark gambit here by asking a question, and it is one of the most popular openings in the game. It's a book move, and there aren't many better ways to start a conversation. Black enters with, yes, it truly was a masterpiece of a film, which is obviously sarcastic rage bait because any normal person knows White was referring to literal Cars, and of course all of the Cars movies sucked, especially Cars 2. Sarcastic rage bait can work wonders though, so this is a good move. White corrects and replies, no, I mean like are you a car person, making things more specific. Me personally, cars are cool as shit though because having a good car equals good huzz. Which isn't cool as shit as this response though, the oral loss for having to correct yourself is immense and a definite mistake. I'm a human is Black's response, clearly trying to piss White off, and for most people this would be a brilliant finishing move. White mans up and aborts the game though, so it is a blunder. Should have done something more annoying. And if you fell for the Cars rage bait that I just did, like and subscribe. White kicks us off with, you're such a jerk, exclamation point, and hold on for a moment. I need some context. Who starts off a game by calling someone jerk? This must be their number 1 op. Inaccuracy. Black responds with your asterisk, and I can see exactly why this is White's number 1 op. I am praying for their downfall too. As annoying as it is, Black plays a great move on the attack here though, because grammatical correction is the big 3 of rage bait that I mentioned earlier. Unfortunately, my third leg is not in the big 3, likely the opposite end. White hits back with, OMG, you're so annoying, like a fucking dumbass. This guy deserves the rage bait. The worst possible thing to do after being corrected on grammar is make the exact same grammatical mistake and claim you are annoyed. This is a rage baiter's dream response, which is why it's an outrageous move. Black corrects again by saying your asterisks, and I love this man's way of thinking. Absolute cinema and the best move in the situation. Don't fix what isn't broken. Stop doing that, you are making me mad, exclamation point. White plays a blunder and weakens their position on the board to a position of no escape. How can you make the same error 3 goddamn times? It is beyond me. It gets to a point. Again, you guessed it, Black says your asterisk, which is a brilliant move, but hopefully White fixes their errors once and for all. And they don't. Fine, exclamation point. I'm gonna slap your face, exclamation point. White seriously played an Uno reverse card and used the corrected your in the incorrect situation. I've met ants smarter than this guy, and bigger than my dick. Another blunder, and if this guy is above 130 elo, I am officially concerned. Black ends things with your asterisk, which caused White to resign the match and thank the heavens for that. Chairs are LOKW cool is the opening from White, and you know what? I agree. We need more appreciation for chairs. How else are we supposed to sit whilst we all goon in unison? We. Anyway, this is LOWK, a good move. White hits back with, James, what the f have you messaged me this at 3:23 a.m.? And holy shit, I did not know this message took place at this ungodly hour. Who in their right mind appreciates chairs at 3 a.m.? I'm either fast asleep or getting random motivation bursts. In fact, I'm recording this during a 3 a.m. motivation burst right now. A reasonable call out from Black results in a great move. I amend my deep felty mistake, ... Chairs are high-key cool, is White's response, and the only thing high-key here is the person behind the phone, not the key, making this a miss. A better move would have been getting some rest like a normal human being. Black replies, bruh, you notified my phone, got me out of bed, and made me open my messages to read this shit, ? Black plays a horrific blunder here because not only do they have show anger, but they also did not know you can't mute a phone. Blaming someone else for having your phone notifications on at night is selfish. Or should I say, selfish? Get it? Cell phone. Anyway, White's next move is yup, and you're going to ... which is a really offensive move, acting as a threat towards Black in a brilliant move. White is not scared and can take anything, especially from behind. Black then makes a generational comeback with go back to bed, good night, knobhead, breaking free from the Ragebait like an absolute cinema moment. It would be wrong not to call this a trophy move, and it checkmates White. White opens up the game with, can you call me a taxi at 7 a.m. tomorrow, ? As a message to their dad, which is a perfectly reasonable and a book move. Black responds to this with, okay, which is as dad as it gets. At least the answer is yes, so it's a great move. Or is it? White hits back with, thanks dad, using good mannerisms like a good boy. Or girl, but that would have been weird to say. Let's just say a good move instead. Thumbs up is the response from Black, as dad in fashion followed up the most hilarious Ragebait ever. You're a taxi. This is a brilliant move without a doubt, and forks the king and queen, forcing White to resign the game. Good luck getting a taxi now, bitch. White kicks the debate off with, Donald Trump is my favorite person in the entire world, and I'll let you state your opinion in the comments. For now, this is a book move though. Black replies, cool, I disagree, BT, cool. A respectable move from Black, making their voice heard but not invalidating the opinion of the opposition. Black plays a book move here to make peace, but remember, this is a rage baiting video. He the perfect president is White's great move, a reply trying to revoke anger. This is a good offense, creating even more tension between the two players, but the real question is, will Black feed into it or not? Black replies, I know this is Ragebait, buddy, like an absolute genius. Brilliant move. The best way to stop Ragebait is to identify it, and Black just did that like an absolute legend. Not as legendary as me, but almost. On their knees, Ayo, White responds with, it not, I promise, and bro can't even use the right grammar, making it an inaccuracy. SMH, bye, is the closing move from Black, ending a...
White opens with,
we here at the core crib, we got a new pet. It's an alpaca. It gives us like 500 mats if we break it.
we got a new pet. It's an alpaca. It gives us like 500 mats if we break it. Blunder. This guy just said break it about a live animal on a call with Maya, the woman who has raised millions for an animal sanctuary and has dedicated her entire platform to protecting them. Jason thinks he's being funny and genuinely thinks Maya would be happy about this. This is either the most oblivious man alive or he genuinely doesn't understand what Maya stands for. Black goes,
What are you doing?
What am I doing? I got a new pet.
What are you doing? Book move. She's trying to figure out if she heard that correctly because there is no way he just said that. White explains,
I ran out of content today, so I went to the pet store and got an alpaca.
Ran out of content today, so I went to the pet store and got an alpaca. Mistake. Did he genuinely think that this sounds very good? Can he not hear himself? He put a bunch of wild animals in a small space and they show visible signs of stress. Black hits back with,
Jason, how about next time you run out amount of content, you use your brain and like come up with a good idea.
Brilliant move. She is being genuinely restrained right now. This is a woman who has spent years fundraising, building sanctuaries, and advocating for animals. The alpaca has probably been handled by 30 different people today alone. It is exhausted and is definitely stressed. White goes,
Nah. I mean, bro, this is a genius idea. I mean, who has a pet alpaca? Look.
nah bro, this is a genius idea. Who has a pet alpaca? Inaccuracy. Jason, you did not come up with a genius idea. You temporarily displaced a stressed animal from its enclosure for content. Bro's genuinely fishing for a compliment from the one person on the planet least likely to give it to him right now. This is like asking a vegan how your steak tastes. Black ignores him. Great move. She looks shocked and disappointed on that call. You can see it in her face. White goes,
Huh? What do you think? Look.
Look. Blunder, pointing at the alpaca like that's gonna fix anything. The animal looks just as confused as Maya. They're both not having a fun time right now. White resigns the call. Next, White is sitting at a university booth with a sign that literally says, ask a lawyer. Book move, set up and ready for legal questions. Black walks up and opens with,
That's not a lawyer, that's a therapist.
that's not a lawyer, that's a therapist. Inaccuracy. Bro saw what the sign says and still pulled this stupid ass shit. I can't with people, bro, I'm gonna lose it. Black follows up with,
So as a lawyer, what makes you more qualified to provide like better advice than the average person?
Law school.
Huh?
Law school?
Okay, so like how? Like what about law school?
so as a lawyer, what makes you more qualified to provide better advice than the average person? Mistake. That's the stupidest question I've ever heard in my life. That's like looking at my rating text messages booth and asking what makes me qualified to analyze text messages. White responds with, law school. Good move and the correct answer. Black goes, mistake. White goes, law school, again. Good move, not backing down and pressing down hard. Black goes, okay, so like, what about law school? Blunder. What do you mean, what about law school? He went to law school. He studied law at a school for law.
I mean, like, that's a really lot of questions. It's like asking an engineer, what makes you better at being an engineer than just someone off the street that
Okay,
went to
but what if you
high
ask a
school?
lawyer like an emotional question? Does law school make you like more qualified to answer that kind of question and give advice
That's
on
not
that?
what we do. These are legal questions.
But
We
you
let
said they come from problems.
White goes, it's like asking an engineer what makes you better than someone off the street. Excellent move. Reasonable analogy. White is holding it together remarkably well. Black goes, okay, but what if you ask a lawyer an emotional question? Does law school make you more qualified? Blender. There's a sign right in front of you that says ask a lawyer, not ask a therapist, not ask someone about your feelings. Ask a lawyer about legal things. White goes, that's not what we do. These are legal questions. Great move. Finally said it plainly.
You didn't clarify. You said legal problems. I'm a lawyer. Just
So, I mean,
problems.
I don't mean to be rude, right? But it's kind of implied that if you're asking a lawyer, you're asking them a legal question. You don't call your podiatrist and ask them about your taxes, do you?
Black goes, you didn't clarify. You said legal problems. Mistake. The sign clarified. The sign that says ask a lawyer that you walked up to and chose to ask emotional questions at. That clarified. White pulls out the podiatrist analogy. Brilliant move. You don't call your podiatrist about your taxes because it's implied by the profession what they handle. Same thing. White is completely in the right here.
No, I just asked you. I was like, "What do? You said answer people's questions with problems." So that's
Correct. Most people have like problems. They don't know where to start. So
legal problems.
I don't need to specify legal problems. It's implied with the word lawyer.
Where'd you go to law school?
I went to Jones School of Law.
Black goes, I just asked you what you do, and you said answer people's questions with problems. Inaccuracy. He said legal problems at a legal advice booth. The context was always legal. Black is arguing in bad faith at this point. Black goes, correct. Most people have problems and they don't know where to start. Good move. Still patient with this man somehow. Black goes, so legal problems. Blunder. Yes, legal problems. That's what the booth is for. That's what the sign says. That's why he's sitting there. White goes, I don't need to specify legal problems. It's implied with the word lawyer. Brilliant move. Completely correct. Nobody walks up to a dentist and asks why he only looks at teeth. Black closes with, where'd you go to law school? Miss. Ran out of arguments and is probably going to try and discredit him. White goes, I went to Jones School of Law. Good move. This was the easiest match for White. He won that so easily. Come on, I want more even matches. Next.
On your left.
White is riding on an electric bike on a pedestrian sidewalk and calls out on your left. Blunder. This is a walking path with grass on both sides, and White pulled up on an electric bike acting like he has right of way.
You could just go in the grass pretty easily as well.
I could also go on the sidewalk, Karen.
Sidewalks are built for pedestrians, so get your fat ass in the grass and just go around next time.
Black responds with, you can just go in the grass pretty easily as well. Great move. Completely reasonable. There is grass literally everywhere. White has thick tires on an electric bike and chose the sidewalk full of pedestrians instead. White goes, I can also go on the sidewalk, Karen. Blunder. called him Karen for suggesting he use the giant empty grass field right next to him instead of the pedestrian path he is currently terrorizing on an electric bike. Black goes, sidewalks are built for pedestrians, so get your fat ass in the grass and just go around next time. Great move, factually correct. Lost points for the fat ass insults. You don't insult your opponent's profile picture on chess.com. You insult their skill and questionable moves instead.
How about that? How about that? Yeah, just go in the grass. It's perfectly built for that. You got these thick ass tires to go in the grass.
Keep going, Karen. Keep going, Karen. Get your ass whooped in front of your son.
Black keeps going with, you got these thick ass tires, go in the grass. Excellent move. Genuinely correct. White specifically has the equipment to handle grass and chose not to use it. White goes, keep going, Karen. Get your ass whooped in front of your son. Blunder. Threatened a man in front of his child because someone correctly told him to get off the sidewalk. How stupid must you be to threaten a man with his whole entire family standing right there? Now you are a threat. Black goes,
You up. I will f you up, dude. I'm not trying to do anything. Just go in the grass.
Shut the fuck up.
Just on your left and bullshit like you're actually in shape doing anything on this bike. It's really working well.
Mind your business, Karen.
I'll fuck you up. I will fuck you up, dude. I'm not trying to do anything. Just go in the grass. Mistake. Said, I'm not trying to do anything immediately after saying I'll fuck you up twice. White's threat was his first horrible move, but the response is reasonable after that blatant provocation. He just needs to improve his mental game. Black keeps going with, it's on your left is bullshit, like you're actually in shape doing anything. Missed win. Was making a great point and then threw in a fitness insult and muddied the whole argument. Come on man, don't go for the low hanging fruit. Just keep hammering his e-bike and decision making. White goes, mind your business. Inaccuracy. White rode his electric bike onto a pedestrian path and made it everyone's business. Black goes, it's really working well. Book move and fair point. White goes, mind your business, Karen. Again, inaccuracy. Saying it twice doesn't make it right, just like my grandma used to say.
On your left. That's assault. Go to jail.
Black walks ahead with his family. Best move. Took the W and walked away with his kid. Then, White rides back up behind him and says, on your left again. Blunder. Had the entire grass field and the whole rest of the park to ride into, and he chose to pedal back into this man's personal space on purpose. This is just asking for trouble at this point. Black pushes White into the grass. Brilliant move. Sent him exactly where he should have been the whole time. White goes, that's assault. Good move, and legally correct. But this man rode an electric bike onto a pedestrian sidewalk, called a father Karen in front of his son, threatened to whip him, and then deliberately rode back up behind him after the argument was already over. The grass got him in the end, one way or another. Black wins. White belongs in the grass. Next, White opens with,
Is you the manager?
Yeah, yes sir.
I don't want that.
Well, you ate the whole entire thing. I can show that camera too.
are you the manager? Book move. Standard opening when you have a problem with the restaurant. Black confirms, yeah, yes sir, good move. Average reply, but then again, less is more. White goes, I don't want that. Inaccuracy. The plate in front of him is completely stripped down to the bone. There is nothing left. White annihilated his chicken and then tried to pull the classic method of getting free meals. But this dumbass forgot that you actually had to leave a good portion to activate this method. Black shows him the plate. Brilliant move. Lets the evidence speak for itself. A full plate of chicken bones with a sliver of meat, clinging on for dear life. He must be joking, right? I mean, just look at the plate. White then goes,
No, I didn't eat. It's meat still on that chicken, man.
But there's nothing like.
It's meat still on that chicken,
But
man.
this whole entire plate has been eaten, sir.
it's meat still on that chicken, man. Blunder. Found a minuscule amount of meat and thought it would work. And that the manager would just go, oh, you barely took a nibble. Let me get you a new plate on the house, sir. Black goes, but there's nothing like good move. Genuinely struggling to articulate what she's looking at because nothing could have prepared her for this stupid ass match. White goes, its meat is still on the chicken, man. Again, mistake. Said it twice like the second time would make the meat regenerate or something. Black goes, but this whole entire plate has been eaten, sir. Great move. Stating the obvious because apparently White doesn't have the human organs called eyeballs. White then goes,
So you can't take that off my bill?
No, not unless you would have gotten us at the very beginning and said that you didn't like your meal. I could have replaced it for you.
So I gotta pay for that.
Yeah, you ate the whole entire thing, sir.
so you can't take that off my bill? Blunder. Ate an entire plate of chicken down to the bone and is now requesting a free meal. What happened to shame? I can barely talk to a waiter to ask for a glass of water. People are out here trying to pull the dumbest scam in mankind. Black goes, no, not unless you would have gotten us at the very beginning and said you didn't like your meal. I could have replaced it for you. Excellent move. Textbook restaurant policy and completely correct. Gave White every opportunity to understand what happened here. White goes, so I gotta pay for that? Inaccuracy. Yes, you ate it. You pay for it. This is how restaurants work. Black goes, yeah, you ate the whole entire thing, sir. Great move. Not even arguing anymore and just confirming reality. White goes,
There's not even like.
So she telling me I got to pay for that?
I mean, let me ask the audience.
There's not even like missed win. Started a sentence and couldn't even finish it because even he knows there's nothing left on that plate. Black then turns to the audience and goes, "Let me ask the audience." The manager knew the comments would murder this guy for trying to pull this idiocy of a scheme. Does he not have common sense? He has no idea what's going to happen. He cooked himself by recording the entire scene, thinking the internet would back him up.
Taylor misspelled Swift's music is ass, which is IRNONIC, because hers is flat. White plays the obvious offensive move here, as they know Black is a Swiftie and nothing gets to them more than insulting their idol, making this a great move off the rip. Black hits back with her music slaps, TF you mean, making me shake my head in disagreement because personally, I don't like her music. I'd rather jam out to Everyday Bro, which is why it's an inaccuracy. White responds to this with, it's basic as hell, choosing one of the best moves in this position, which is why it's a great move. Black is clearly falling for the Ragebait, and who knows how they'll respond to Taylor's music being labeled as basic. STFU bitch is Black's response, and this player got lured into the Ragebait easier than Pokemon get lured into areas by incense. Responding to Ragebait with a swear word is exactly what the opponent wants, which is why this is a mistake. White starts to push for checkmate and says, haha, classic Swiftie getting mad, and they're literally laughing in the face of the opponent, which is crazy and also an excellent move. On one hand, you have Black dropping the word bitch, and on the other hand, White is laughing. I'm not f***ing mad, I'm just confused because why the actual f*** would you go out of your way to indult her? She don't know you. This puts Black in an even worse position than before because I didn't even think that was possible. Dropping 2 F-bombs in the same text and claiming not to be angry is about as dumb as rocks, so I gotta call this a serious blunder. White then speaks in my mind by saying, you sound mad to me, which is a brilliant move, allowing a mate in 1. Instead of allowing a checkmate though, Black replies, bye, period, and resigns like a coward. White opens with, get me a beer, immediately limiting Black's options with the fork. They either get the fuck up for the beer and waste time, or tell them no and get jumped, which makes this a good move. I'm busy is the short yet effective response from Black, and this is brave, much braver than me. To reject your dad as easily as that requires balls of titanium, so this has to be a great move. White responds with, hi busy, I'm thirsty, now get me a beer. White plays a brilliant move here by taking a smart dad joke mid-game. It shows that they mean business and will not take no for an answer. Absolute cinema. Black gets back with, I have a job, I can't just be leaving to do stuff that you can easily do yourself, which is a reasonable excuse, but White has already revealed that this is not a choice, making this a miss. White reveals the Ragebait by replying, you can LOL, and Black is bound to be angry reading this. The LOL at the end is the icing on the cake for this excellent move. I'm getting annoyed, I'm turning off my phone. What a dreadful blunder from Black that puts them in a position worse than the reverse cowgirl. I didn't think you could clearly tell someone that their Ragebait is working more than Black did here, so they must be on their lower end of elo. Okay, thumbs up is White's closing move, and you just can't read a dad's text without the dreaded thumbs up emoji making an appearance. This checkmates Black. White starts with, sorry for missing my 2 war attacks. I was undergoing chemotherapy for my liver cancer. White plays a book move here by simply explaining why they let the clan down, and it's a reasonable excuse. Black decides that this goes against the rules of text chest though, and reports White to an admin who is a third party and kicks them out of the clan. Justice for Candy in the comments to pay your respects. Black then plays an actual move and says, next time focus on the more important battle, and I'm in complete agreement. Nothing should ever be prioritized over a clan war, and this is a trophy move asserting dominance over the rest of the clan. Would you replace me with another girl if I died? White opens with the insecure gambit that chop players use to try and feel better. Book move. Black hits back with, what? That's a miss. The position was very clear, so there's no reason to say what, and it just puts Black in a weaker position. White responds with, just answer it. Clearly annoyed that the insecure gambit was rejected and they need to change their game plan. White plays a forced move here because they need to ask again. Black hits back with, "Why are you asking me this?" which is the obvious offensive move and is one of the best responses to the insecure gambit out there, making this the best move. It's a yes or no question. Answer is White's response, and this bitch is not giving up on their opening. You have to respect the determination, but at some point you've got to up your game. Mistake. Black finally accepts the insecure gambit with, "Well, I guess," putting themselves in a much weaker position. They had control of the game, but have bought into the Ragebait trap, making this a blunder. White capitalizes and pins the queen with, "You guess?" question mark. "So do you want me to die?" question mark, making a brilliant move. The game has been completely turned on Black's head and they can't defend their queen, so they reply with "no" due to a forced move. White says, "Just say you don't love me." White takes the queen here and checks Black with an insane guilt trip, which is an excellent move. However, Black still has one last try to evade checkmate. Black hits back with, "Why are you trying to start a fight?" And of course, bro failed like this miserable miss. This was clear and obvious Ragebait from White, and now Black looks like a dumbass for falling for it. If you don't want to look like a dumbass, you should subscribe and join the Discord. I want an office job. Oh, I'm so sorry for not censoring that. Anyway, that's the opening move from White, which is about as professional as rocking up an interview in a maid outfit. Mistake. Black hits back with, "No office jobs available right now, period. But you can text or call him, question mark." This is a book move in response to White, who replies with, "Can I just have your position, question mark, and you work at blank?" White plays an excellent move here because who wouldn't get pissed off at someone trying to steal their job? Top tier Ragebait. Black responds with, "No," laughing emoji, making me very proud because even I would have fallen for the Ragebait, but not Black, so this is a great move. Question mark, question mark, question mark. "It was my position first," is White's response, which is complete and utter bullshit, but a great move because there's no shot Black isn't on the verge of resigning. Black then hits back with, "Not doing this with you." This move puts Black back into the dominant position as they have all the power and whose job it actually is, making this an excellent move. This match's elo is bigger than my body count. It at least is 1. White tries one last time to make Black resign from anger by saying, question mark, "Wow, blank, that's greedy." But Black prevails and leaves the message on red, resulting in their win by checkmate. White kicks things off with, "Who's your GOAT?" following the opening principle of asking questions. Questions are the best way of starting a conversation and come out as a book move. "Me" is Black's response, and holy shit, they're big-headed, a blunder. White hits back with, "No, like be serious, mine's LeBron." This creates a weakness in their position because they were unable to identify the Ragebait and are already angry, making it a miss. Black spots an opportunity and follows up with, "Still me." And this could not be a more obvious attempt at annoying someone. They're against low elo idiot though, so of course they don't identify this. Best move. Just to answer my question, dumbass, it's not that hard. What a ray of sunshine this player is. See what I did there? For real though, this is a huge mistake which allows Black to win a fork. Black spots this and states that LeBron is shit, circling all the way back to White's second move, which is an amazing spot. Players like this do not deserve to be in lobbies with low elo players. This is an excellent move. "Are you still coming over tonight? Question mark. LMK, because if you are, I need to go in the store to get food for dinner, is White's reasonable book move of an opening. Black responds with, "What's a father? Tell me you're not funny without telling me you're not funny." I get this is an attempt at Ragebait, but using the corny XXXTentacion meme is a corny in itself, which is why this is an inaccuracy. White replies with, question mark. "Stop, just tell me if you are or not. Answer my call, please." And I feel bad for this poor soul. It's still a blunder because they have given into this Ragebait 2 moves deep, but it's so undeserved. Black's next move is "No didn't blood in ROFL. Tell me you're 12 years old without telling me you're 12 years of f***ing age." In terms of Ragebait though, this would be a great move, but based on the fact that it's as funny as David Attenborough, I'm overruling and calling it a miss. Okay, come on. Blank, yes or no? I need to know now, I'm about to get off break. White creates a sense of urgency here and beckons for Black to give them even a one-word answer. It's a good move in order to stop the Ragebait, but unfortunately it fails because Black responds with "or did he blood?" and it's gotten to the point that the Ragebait has reached me, which is rare. This is the most unemployed text chess player I have ever come across, and I would not be surprised if they had a severe gooning addiction. For the sake of Ragebait, I have to call this a brilliant move though, because it even managed to slightly piss me off. Slightly. "Please stop, you're actually annoying me now," is White's mistake of a response, which clearly tells Black the bait is working. If they had my hopes up of getting an answer left, they were now gone for good and the position is hard to recover. Black capitalizes with "I'm gonna need to see a badge," and the only badge White has on them is the f***ing loser's badge because there's no way they can come back with even more Ragebait played. Great move. White opens up with "Don't like your boobs like personality, period. Like you." Inaccuracy. Anyone who has to state that they like personality more than definitely doesn't and is a D1 gooner. Black replies, "Hey, thanks for the message, !" smiley face. Like some sort of NPC trying to maintain a conversation. Mistake. White somehow conjures a response which is YW, period. And it looks like they did not appreciate the robotic message one bit and responded in a bland way, which is a good move. He might as well have been messaging character AI. Black uses the good old Control-C, Control-V check attack by saying, "Hey, thanks for the message, !" smiley face, which is a rare but effective way of putting the opponent in check and an excellent move in Ragebait matches. "Go f***ing yourself," followed up by 16 probably exclamation points. "Check me in the comments," is White's response, which is a bit excessive, don't you think? White played a blunder here because they're seeping with nothing other than rage. The only comparison I can make is that they probably look like anger from inside out right now. But that isn't even it. They also follow with the need to specify that Black should f*** themselves, so follow up with "now" and another, I don't know how many exclamation points this time. Holy shit, this dude needs to chillax. Another blunder. "Hey, thanks for the message, !" smiley face. "Hey, thanks for the message, !" smiley face. Black uses the Control-C, Control-V check attack again, except this time the attack is a bit more promising. Good move. White tries to play defensive with, again, and an amount of periods that I respectfully don't want to spend my time reading. This is a great move on the defense as it calms things down from the F-bombs and starts to show signs of not being mad. Desperately trying to restore the anger, Black responds, "Hey, thanks for the message, !" smiley face. But this is their first mistake of the game. Despite seeing that White isn't getting as angry anymore, they still played the same move and this would be their downfall. "Wanna f***? Absolute cinema?" A very deserving brilliant move from White here turns the entire game on its head and causes Black to resign. What a roller coaster that was. And if you're enjoying the video, like and subscribe. White opens the game with "You're cute," which breaks the opening principle of correct grammar. This makes White look like an absolute dumbass who probably has a GPA of 0.3, which is why it is an inaccuracy. Black replies with "No, you're cute," which is another inaccuracy. Something about players mirroring opening moves pisses me off. "Oh, thanks, hiding monkey," and I can't think of a more corny emoji to use after receiving a compliment. White puts themselves in the weaker position here by closing the first conversation channel with thanks and allowing Black to start a new one. Mistake. Black doesn't take the opportunity to start a new one though and reveals a mega plot twist. "I was correcting your grammar, stupid! !" If White had 0.3 GPA at the start of the match, then they are in the negatives now because Black just made them look at least less intelligent. Truly a brilliant move. White kicks things off with "Can you turn it down a bit please?" which is a simple request and a book move. "I literally just turned it on! !" is Black's irrational response because White said "please, at least be polite, Black," inaccuracy. White responds with "yeah, and it's extremely loud," and White plays a good move here because I can relate. Nothing pisses me off then when one of my 15 girlfriends puts the volume too high. Black replies, "Whatever, period, better now, !" and as many question marks as inches on my second head. Black plays a great move here because they spot the defense and turn their TV down as requested. However, it clearly wasn't to a reasonable extent because White hits back with "Doesn't sound like you turned it down at all," starting a confrontation and playing their first mistake. "There, period, happy I turned it off, period. Can't do a damn thing in my own house." Black is expressing their anger as passionately as Greta Thunberg does with climate change. A blunder is played here because they tell their opponent that the Ragebait is successful, which you never want to do.
White responds with, "Did not ask you to turn it off, just down because it's late and I'm tired and don't feel good still." Well, 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 one of the most used moves in all of text chess, the guilt trip. Any decent player can spot this from a mile away and make this a blunder, but this time it's an excellent move. Because Black replies with, "If it's not loud, it's not music, period. My generation, period. I'm sorry if you don't feel well, period." Falling for the guilt trip in a matter of seconds and allowing White to checkmate them in the next move. White starts off with the Goggins Gambit and says, "Rise, rise, rise. Where's your anger? Question mark. Where's your f***ing rage? Question mark." This is definitely the type of guy to eat steak, avocado, and eggs on a wooden board for his Instagram story. Inaccuracy. Black hits back with, "Dad, what the f*** are you talking about? And holy shit, this kid has balls, so I'll call it a great move. If I said the F word around my dad, I'd get jumped on sight, but luckily, their dad isn't as extreme and simply says rise again, which is confusing as f*** and causes Black to resign. White says, "Hey dad, don't be upset, but I crashed mom's car, period. I'm fine, but I'll need a ride home." What a dumbass. The last thing you do after crashing a goddamn car is message your dad, because those fellas do not take shit this lightly. Mistake. Black hits back with a boar and holy shit, its head is exploding. Someone call the vets or some shit. Anyway, Black also follows up with "can't talk, fishing." This is an outrageous move, because in a situation where your child is literally stranded, how do you keep fishing innocently? His wife should look out because maybe he's after.
White starts the match with, "I call BS on this story, period. If this is true, then all those myths about toilet seats and swimming pools would be true, period." Bold opening from White with absolute confidence. Surely he knows the topic well and is well versed in it, right? Good move. For context, the match is about two inmates in separate cells who manage to conceive a child without ever meeting. They pass the secret sauce through the air vents using a makeshift line out of bedding, and the woman used a yeast infection applicator to inject it to herself. What the actual fuck did I just read? And it's always the people that shouldn't be parents that always pull shit off like this, and the poor kid is gonna get bullied and called the Among Us baby. The sheer audacity to compare this situation to toilet seat pregnancy myths shows a fundamental misunderstanding of how reproduction actually works. But hey, at least they're confident about being wrong. Black counters with, "Not necessarily, period, because the mayonnaise was actually inserted in this instance, period, but the others aren't." Solid counter by Black, which put White's opening to a rough start, refuting that it's not the same logic and circumstances. Best move. If it was me, I would just call him an imbecile and move on with the day. This defense shows Black actually understands the difference between direct and indirect contact. Basic biology that apparently went over White's head during sex ed because he was probably too busy gooning in the school bathroom. Not that I can't relate. White doubles down with, "I just can't bring myself to believe this is true, period. If a guy knew **G in cellophane and passing it through a hole in the wall to a woman who inserts it into herself with a syringe results in pregnancy, then why is IVF a multi-billion-dollar industry, question mark. Real ones know this isn't true because there's two types of orgasm a man can have, and one doesn't result in pregnancy, period. I'll probably be downvoted to filth because only the broad strokes of people are taught/picked up until you learn the finer details on your own generally. People still believe eggplant sizes got bigger due plus evolution and not HGH and TRT, so I don't have out much hope of people running to corroborate my story, period. White had a good start until he started rambling about two types of mayonnaise, and where did wiener size rank come from? He's probably packing a 1-inch pickle. He has to show me so I can confirm. For the match integrity, of course, outrageous. White just went completely off the rails and started mixing reproductive biology with conspiracy theories about fertility industries. The sudden pivot to discussing different types of male climax, followed by an unprompted rant about penis size evolution, is turning this conspiracy theory gambit to a schizophrenic one. However, Black, with another impressive move, says, "The reason why IVF is a multi-billion-dollar industry is because the people that do that are experiencing fertility issues, period. It's not that regular John and Jane Doe that don't need fertility treatment in order to get pregnant. This is a massive elo difference you can clearly see in this match who has a high rating versus someone who loses to a 250 rated bot." Another great line of reasoning by Black, refuting everything White throws at him. Every piece White develops gets spawn camped by Black's rook. Absolute cinema. Such a brilliant move. This is the kind of response that makes you realize one person actually understands what they're talking about, while the other is just throwing around random words like they heard on those Sigma Male podcasts. Black's explanation is so clear and logical, it's almost embarrassing for White. White, still thinking he can come back from this ass whooping, asks, "Have you had kids?" Too late, buddy. No one, and I mean nobody, is going to take you seriously after schizo ranting in the previous messages. He's trying to set up the gotcha defense, which, let's be honest, barely matters in most cases. He missed his chance to walk away. When you can't win with facts, try to discredit your opponent's personal experience. And unfortunately for White, this strategy works about as well as using mustard as lube, and it hurts. Inaccuracy. Black shoots back with, "Yes, period, I have 2 kids. Another perfect parry by Black, revealing he has 2 offspring and is well versed in spawning tiny humans, completely foiling White's gotcha defense, which wouldn't even dent the evaluation bar. Someone tell White to just resign, he's down in material by a lot. This is just depressing. White probably has 0 kids, super obvious from the way he talks, and his questionable anatomy knowledge. Excellent move. Black just revealed that they have the actual real-world experience with reproduction, making White's theoretical rambling looking even more unhinged in comparison. White, still clinging to his delusions, says, "I would be worried about paternity if you think an orgasm induced by masturbation is the same as an orgasm produced by reproductive sex, mate. No harm to you, period." I don't even know if at this point White is being real or just rage baiting. Sad to say, this is most likely not bait, he's just the average American education. Saying this on a public platform is downright diabolical. I don't know if there were multiple choice opinions when squeezing out mayonnaise, but all I know is they all taste the same. I read it in an article, Criminal move. The confidence is discussing reproductive biology while being fundamentally wrong about basic human anatomy is genuinely impressive in its silly little way. Next, White starts us off with, "I was just about to check FB Marketplace for a Sony lens after some Reddit scrolling, period. Never meant to check FB Marketplace for a Sony lens after some Reddit scrolling, period. Never mind, period. Unfortunate situation, luckily it's caught on camera, period. A few $100s isn't worth dying over, period." White probably saw someone get Swiss cheese over a Facebook Marketplace trade. Who even uses Facebook anymore? If you do, you're a fossil, go take care of your kids or something, Gramps. Book move. Black, out of nowhere, starts chirping about dye equals a natural or synthetic substance used to add a color to or change the color of something, period. Dye equals to pass from physical life, period. Learning the meaning of words before posting isn't difficult. Dyeing means adding color to something, period. Dying means to die, period, as in death or not alive. Additionally, never mind is 2 words, not 1, period. Black attempted to counter with the nerd gambit, but failed horribly. If you're gonna correct someone and be a huge nerd, at least do it right. Don't walk around so ignorant and egotistical. Couldn't be me, but I'd never make this mistake. What an embarrassing miss. They correctly identified the die distinction, but then immediately messed up by saying dying means adding color to something when they meant dying. Next, White starts the game with, "If Barack Obama were to announce a 2024 run, how would you react?" Interesting question to say the least. A good conversation starter or even something fun to start an argument or definitely a debate. Book move. A solid hypothetical question that could lead to interesting political discourse. White setting up what could be an engaging discussion about constitutional law and presidential term limits. Black hits back with, "Confused as I thought that wasn't allowed, period," which is a very valid question to ask. Maybe White just doesn't know the facts yet or is trying to get a reaction out of the players. Black showing that they actually have some knowledge of constitutional restrictions on presidential terms. This is a reasonable response from someone who understands basic civics. Good move. White clarifies his position. It'd be perfectly legal. The 2-term limit is 2 consecutive terms. Another victim of American education. This is why I dropped out of school, not because I got bullied for wearing my own merch at school, which is just another reckless mistake. White just revealed they fundamentally misunderstood how presidential terms limits work. This isn't about consecutive terms, it's about total terms served, showing peak American education. Black prepares the finishing blow with, "No person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice, and no person who has held the office of the president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which has some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of president more than 1 period." Another brutal one-sided beatdown. This match is more one-sided than the love I gave my dad, which, let's be honest, Definitely one-sided, he doesn't give any back. Completely outmatched, another masterclass by Black. Well played, brilliant. This is what happens when someone who actually knows the law meets someone who gets their constitutional knowledge from X. Who am I kidding? Everyone calls that shit Twitter. Next, White starts the game with, guessing this guy doesn't know how cup sizes work, period. True A cups aren't super common past puberty, period. My boobs are fairly small volume-wise, but they're still a C because I'm otherwise petite, period. A bigger woman with the same total boob volume could still be a B or an A, but maybe this is some 8th grader. I can hope this is an 8th grader. Any older and it gets really embarrassing for him to think like this, period. White drops an entire lecture about bra and melon physics. White came in like someone who has been waiting their entire life for this exact conversation. Technically brilliant. Black responds with, I don't think you're a real woman, but okay, period. Go off, period. The classic picks or it didn't happen gambit, completely missing the actual game being played. I honestly don't know what's happening personally. I'm out of my element. I've never felt the touch of a woman, but I could tell this was not only wrong, but an embarrassing blunder. Black decided to question White's entire gender identity instead of engaging with the actual topic. This is like standing up in the middle of a match and you start asking to see what they're packing down there. Mistake, I've done it, and it was really embarrassing. White just acknowledged that they're in the Gladiator Coliseum and they're loving it. Haha, Reddit is so fun, truly a PvP enabled website. Bold, but this move has no real value, more of a showmanship move, equivalent of moving your rook next to your king instead of castling. Miss. Black tries to double down with cup size I affected by weight, but if the volume of your tip is a C, then it's a C. Doesn't matter if you're petite or not. Only thing that changes is the number in the bra size. 36C or 42C is still a C. I do agree that A cups and B cups aren't that common, but you still don't make that sense when you describe cup size like that. The only thing I can think of is some brands don't label sizes the same. Black proceeds to mansplain bra physics while being spectacularly wrong with the confidence of a man who's never seen a bra outside of a Twitch stream. Inaccuracy. White lands the kill shot with, sorry, but that's incorrect, period. Look up sister sizes, period. A 34D has the same cup volume as a 36C, period. A woman who has the same volume of as me, 32C, but a larger band size would be a 34B or a 36A, etc., period. A 42C has a great cup volume than a 36, period. That is how it works. The letter is about relative size, period. I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't understand a single thing from this move, or honestly any of them. They're all too high level, even for me, but I did some research, some pretty good research in incognito, and White delivers a factual execution, so clean it deserves a trophy move. Other than that one mistake earlier, another clean mate. Next, White opens the match with, they don't have Reddit. White just casually mentioned that some places on Earth don't have access to our precious internet forums. You know, basic infrastructure realities that exist outside of your mom's basement. Book move. Black hits back with VPNs. Holy shit, Black just solved global poverty with 2 letters and an S. This is like someone saying they're homeless and Black responding, just buy a house, bro. Absolute magnificent first world tunnel vision. If you don't have stable internet, listen to Black, just use a VPN, bro. It's just that easy. Inaccuracy. White tries to solidify his position with, most of them don't have internet. White is now speaking very slowly and clearly like they're explaining to a toddler why grandma isn't going to wake up anytime soon. Listen buddy, they don't have the magic electricity box that makes the internet happen. White patiently explaining why you can't use internet tools without internet. This is like explaining why you can't goon without my videos. Great move. Black doubles down with, so question mark, just use a VPN. Jesus Christ. Black just recommended using internet software to solve not having internet. This is the kind of logic that makes my brain leak out of my ears. The doubling down is magnificent. Black's solution to infrastructure problems is more infrastructure. Blunder. You know what else makes my brain melt? You not liking and subscribing, and make sure to buy my merch, please. My mom is kind of homeless. Buy it on textchest.store, link is down in the description. Next, White moves the first pawn with, Alex is the only one in the position to disclose the amount of $sign he received, period. I'd hate to do that if he's not comfortable, period. But especially with his part-time position, he did not receive $250K, and my own personal understanding was that if we didn't take the job, we'd get 1/2 the salary, period. I'd have to reread my paperwork. White casually opens with insider knowledge while being protective of privacy. This is either legitimate contestant or the most committed LARP attempted. Good move. Black tries to counter with, other contestants have not taken the job and still were given the $250K, so again, you're wrong. Black being confident in attempting to call Wife's bluff is a bit commendable. They probably got this information from YouTube comments on one of Hell's Kitchen's videos and ran with it. A bit ballsy, but a decent good move. White shoots hard with, "I'm sorry, do you have the paperwork? I quite literally have the agreement on paper. Your assumption is incorrect and that's okay," smiling face emoji. White is not backing down from his stalwart position of being an actual contestant and offering Black a chance to resign. This is actually about to get very real or very embarrassing. Best move. Black hits back with, "Yeah, of course you just so happen to have paperwork that has nothing to do with you," clown emoji. And that paperwork just so happens to be on this exact topic, laughing crying face emoji. Imagine having a lie on Reddit because you're too insecure about being wrong, LMFAO period. Good job, clown period. Black tries to defend himself with the delusional defense, which isn't working since White offered proof, but he's trying to ignore it and change the subject. Loser behavior. They think having evidence when you make claims is somehow suspicious. Since we don't know if White is a LARP or not, this is considered a good move. The ominous third party intervened with, "Do you know who you're arguing with?" Someone watching the match started glazing White like he's Magnus Carlsen. "Calm down, buddy. No need for this glaze. He's not me. Let them finish their one-on-one." Black with paranoia kicking in. One very deluded idiot, LOL. One with many claims, yet zero evidence to back it up, LOL. And the moment that claim is challenged, they go, "I'm gonna let you have this one," like any other idiot with zero proof would say. Going all in on the conspiracy theorist strat, creating this beautiful logical prison where asking for proof is suspicious, not providing proof is also suspicious. This is like playing chess, but every move your opponent makes is automatically cheating. Black is doubling down on their skepticism while potentially arguing with an actual reality TV participant. Mistake. White tries to end the game with, "Just trying to give you proof. I'll DM you from my Instagram for bonus attention, period." Laughing face emoji, laughing face emoji, laughing face emoji, period. At this point, I know you're just trolling, but I'm bored, so I don't mind. White's still trying to be reasonable, with Black having a psychological episode, but still kind enough to try and offer resolution to the match and end the game on good terms, but never show mercy or weakness. It's a cold world out there. Miss. Black continues to have a complete mental breakdown. Ah yes, totally not fake Instagram from some random on a subreddit is definitely proof, laughing face emoji, but sideways, period. It's genuinely sad you think people want attention for you, LOL, period. You want to prove yourself so badly, yet you can't just drop your Instagram, question mark. Why do you need mine, laughing face emoji, but sideways, period. At this point, I know you're just trolling, LOL. No. Imagine being so deluded and conceited to think everyone is going to automatically believe you with your sad bullshit claims you can't even provide anything. LOL. And going, "Her, I asked you for your Instagram," isn't proof, laughing face emoji, but sideways. You shouldn't need my Instagram to prove proof, LMFAO. You're just another sad loser cosplaying as a Hell's Kitchen contestant for a Hell's Kitchen subreddit for the attention you seem to think I want. The projection is really telling me a lot about you. It's sad, cringy, and pathetic, period. You can't even stick to your word, but I'm supposed to believe you, question mark, laughing face emoji, the sure thing, kiddo, period. Black is either trolling or serious about this. I don't see why you would be this mad on a subreddit of a TV show. This is just embarrassing. Basically started eating the chess pieces and still declaring he's winning. Someone tell Black to go get a job. Criminal move. White still trying to fix the game with, "I don't understand how else you want me to plug proof in a Reddit," laughing face emoji, but sideways. I can type out that my Instagram is chef_Cheyenne or link it, but it won't show that it's my account, LMFAO, period. Please explain how you expect proof and I'll give it to you, kiddo, period. I know you're joking and trolling, but by the time you're putting into this is disturbing. Too much grotesque name calling, it's old already, period. I know you're loving this, but please just explain how I can insert proof that shows out on me for people like you in the future. White is moving with perfect accuracy, showing that they were actually on the show, and Black has been arguing over nothing. It's not that serious, lol, bro. Oh wait, it's Hell's Kitchen, it might be that serious. Best move. Black responds with, "Please explain how you expect proof. I don't expect proof because you don't have any LMFAO. Period. If you were who you claim to be, you wouldn't feel the need to prove yourself to anyone to begin with, regardless of what others say online, period. Not to mention that girl is ugly as sin, so you know what, maybe you are telling the truth, period. Because nobody would lie about looking that ugly willingly, period. I suppose, period. Only an ugly would lie about being a second-rate wannabe chef as well, period. Either you're one ugly cook, definitely no chef, or you're a deluded loser cosplaying on a subreddit, period. I still lean towards deluded loser, period. Black continues to lash out on White, realizing he might be talking to an actual contestant and is trying to insult the chef to lessen the deep disappointment he has of himself. Black reeks of a Discord basement dweller. I think he's just self-respecting at this point. Being a deluded loser fits him very well. A well-deserved blunder, which my Discord in the description is not full of. White closes the game with LMAO. That's a few more O's. I'm framing this. Tired yet? White finally sees what Black's strategy is and is now just showboating and taunting Black, which seemingly worked since Black stopped playing after this and White won by checkmate. Next, White starts the game with, but it's flat because the water would all be at the bottom, rolling eyes emoji, starting the game off with the flat Earth's gambit. The confidence in stating something so fundamentally at odds with observable reality is impressive. It's the bomb cloud opening of text chess, inaccuracy. Black tries to parry. If this is not satire, the Earth is round because gravity is in the center of the globe, making water try to go to it, but the land blocks it, period. Nope, this is an inaccuracy. Best move would be resigning. It's not worth arguing with flat earthers. It will give you headaches more painful than that one time I had a bishop stuck in my ankle. White hits back with, but gravity pulls down though. Why would it stay on the planet at all if it's being pulled down to the center of the universe? White doubles down with the flat Earth gambit. Not only is it wrong, it's so wrong that the evaluation bar just smacked White harder than my dad does. Mistake. Black responds with, it's not being pulled down to the center of the universe. There is no gravity in space even. But there is no point in arguing. Let's drop this. Black almost had a winning position, but then decided to be a dumbass and said no gravity in space. That's like promoting a pawn and choosing a knight instead of a queen. By choice, he's also offering a draw. This is just a disappointing blunder. Want more? Press the playlist. White opens with hi with 3 eyes. How you question mark I'm underage from the UK X you're so cute and sexy weird face emoji per X. Oh god, White's leading with the minor gambit. This isn't something you should be proud about and flexing when you're acting like this. You can already tell this player is a role player freak, and that's how you get onto a list. A very sloppy inaccuracy. Black responds saying, kinda weird dude. Black showing incredible restraint by not immediately blocking this imbecile. Black's giving him one chance to understand he f***ed up, and a good move. White asks with, what's kinda weird, question mark, lol. This absolute buffoon can't figure out what's wrong with announcing you're underage while purring at strangers. This just proves his brain is completely smooth, 0 wrinkles and a mistake. Black clarifies all of that. Black's refusing to list every red flag on White's opening because it would take way too long and everything was wrong. His whole existence is. Good move. White narrows it down with purring in your ears, question mark. White thinks the cat noise is the problem, not the fact that he opened with I'm a minor, you're sexy, purr. His priorities are completely backwards. This man's thought process is cooked. Absolute blunder. Black confirms, obviously, yes, the purring, period. Black's just picking the easiest answer to exit from this nightmare of a match with a forced move. White defends the move with, really, question mark, that's weird, compared to what you could have had from a 50-year-old perv, ... Yeah, of course. So White's entire defense is, well, at least I'm not that bad. Dude, you're still as bad, you're just younger and worse at spelling. Shows his American education failed him as hard as his social skills, and this is the at least I'm not 50 defense. Horrible blunder. Black destroys him with, someone else being creepy doesn't make you less creepy. Black just ended this man's whole defense with basic thinking. You can't defend being a creep by pointing at other creeps. It's not how anything works with a brilliant move. White crashes out and says, stay single, ... few dots, like 6 or 7, and trans, of course, period. Bi freak, period. Stay fun at parties, winking face emoji. White's having a complete breakdown because someone called him out for being weird after he purred at them while being underage. White had the audacity to critique and call out names when he literally made cat noises in his opener. The projection is so strong that NASA could use it to explore other flat planets because everyone knows the Earth is flat, and this is a catastrophic blunder. Black finally finishes with WTF. Black's brain is trying to process how someone speedran being creepy, defensive, and aggressive in under a minute. There's no response needed and the confusion says everything, and with this, Black resigns. Next, White opens with say something, crying face emoji, crying face emoji, crying face emoji. White's demanding attention with 3 crying emojis like the text I send to my dad. No greetings, no small talk, just straight begging and an inaccuracy. Black responds to White and says, I appreciate you, but I've got a husband and kids, period. LOL, period. Black shutting him down with a family defense, and his good move is just being polite about the rejection. White goes, I just said you were cute, ... I'm gonna kill myself, period. I'm sorry for being attracted to you, ... I can't help it, ... White's doing damage control by downplaying his opener, then immediately guilt tripping her with the classic killing myself in Minecraft gambit. He's trying to make her feel bad for rejecting him. Very much manipulative with this blunder. Black shoots back with, and I didn't reply because I have a dude, period. But thank you, that's very kind, period. Black somehow staying calm and polite with this good move, and she explained why she didn't respond and still thanked him. She's handling his guilt trip pretty calmly. White closes and says, I'll be dead within 20 minutes, period. Don't fucking worry, ... This is a catastrophic blunder, as White just gave her a countdown timer for his self-deletion like anyone asked. The 20-minute warning is unhinged. Who announces their exit schedule like that? Nobody actually plans to do it will announce it this way, just trying to guilt trip you with the oldest trick in the book. Next, White starts us off with, are you a high school, ? Cause I'd love to shoot some kids inside you, cucumber emoji, 3 water droplets emoji. White's making a school shooting joke. This is generally one of the worst pickup lines ever created, just trying to be edgy and show off, but it rarely works with his catastrophic blunder. Black responds with, that's fucking horrible, dude, period. Are you okay, ? Like actually okay, ? I'm worried, period. She's not even engaging with the joke. She's genuinely concerned for his mental state because you have to be unwell to type that. She's showing real empathy instead of just blocking him. This is surprisingly kind given what he just said and a good move. White closes with, well, since you legitimately care, no, I'm not okay, period. I'm driving through in pouring rain, going 30 under the speed limit, life is terrible. White saw genuine concern and immediately dumped his problems. He's driving in the rain, going slow, and his life is terrible. It's honestly a pretty great move because it shows he's either distressed or his brain stopped working. Because fair play to him, he saw a safety net thrown to him and he grabbed it and clung on. Just shows that edgy people are just lonely ones. Next, White opens with sexy. White's leading with a single word opening like a pretty bad dumbass. Bold and stupid and an inaccuracy. Black makes a move with ? Black's confused because a stranger just called her sexy with 0 prior moves in a reasonable reaction with a good move. White follows up with or not ? LOL. White's already backtracking and questioning himself. He's nervous, he opened with confidence, immediately folded like an omelet, mistake. Black asks, just confused as to where you got this. Black wants to know how this random gooner found her. Valid question, good move. White hits back and says, I don't even remember, period. Are you on Scout? White doesn't know where he found her, which means he's messaging random people hoping someone responds. He's asking her if she's on some app he can't even recall. Blunder. Black responds, nope. Black's keeping it short, she's not engaging any further. Good defense by Black and a best move. White almost gives up with, no clue, just block me lol. White's telling her to block him like he's doing her a favor. He gave up on himself, and this is pathetic and a mistake. Black awkwardly says, okay. Black's about to exit this low elo match peacefully in a forced move. White panics and says, you don't have to, and then sends a shirtless picture. If you're wondering where I got these freaky ass messages, by the way, join my Discord, the link's in the description. Anyway, White stopped her from blocking him just to send an unsolicited shirtless pic. Nobody asked for this. He kinda looks like the dude from The Whale. Smash. Anyway, another cringy blunder from White. Black hits back and says, how old are you? ? Black's concerned now because unsolicited shirtless pics usually come from someone who shouldn't be sending them. This is a smart question and a good move. White reveals with 53, period. You? ? White's 53 years old, sending shirtless pics with random people online. This context makes everything worse and a catastrophic blunder. How are you 53 and still a massive loser? Black responds with 20. Black's revealing a 33-year age gap just happened. This match is moving into creepy territory with a forced move. White then says, that's hot. White heard I'm 20 and called the age gap hot. He's not embarrassed, he's apparently turned on by it, and this man is cooked with a horrible blunder. Someone come get their pops. Black shits hard with, ... my bad. That's weird, TBH. You're like older than my parents. Black pointed out he's older than her parents, which should make anyone feel ashamed and resign, but not White, with a great move. White defends and says, but I bet your parents don't look like I do, lol. I have 3 kids, all in their 30s. White's bragging about his body while mentioning his kids are older than her. He thinks this is a flex. His children are in their 30s and he's hitting on someone who's in their 20s. How does he not know that's disgusting? Massive blunder. Black finally responds, that's infinitely weirder. Why aren't you chatting up someone who's your age? He's asking why he's not dating age-appropriate people, which is a classic
classic defense to use when older men are trying to raise you up. I personally use this defense a lot. Brilliant move. White attempts to explain with, my last girlfriend for 3 years was 22 when we got together. White's using his history of dating young women as proof that this is normal. He dated a 22-year-old for 3 years while being 50 years old. Typical blunder, and this is not something you disclose out in a public server. Black concludes and says, so you're a creep, period. Got it, period. Black just called it what it is, no sugarcoating. She's done analyzing, perfect assessments, and fits White very well with this trophy move. White defends his action with, no, I actually met her parents and everything. White thinks meeting the parents makes grooming acceptable. Meeting parents doesn't erase a 30-year-old age gap in a horrible blunder. This logic makes no sense. White doubles down with a criminal move. I'm a creep lol, says the little White went from defending himself to calling her a in one singular message. He got called a creep, agreed sarcastically, then immediately attacked her. The mask fell completely off. He's big mad because a 20-year-old doesn't think an age gap he loves is hot. Not calling him anything, but someone check his hard drives if they can even stay hard. Get it? Next, White opens with, I'm rubbing the math textbook on my dick. Pleading eyes emoji. White announces he's rubbing a math textbook on his dingling with pleading eyes. Not just textbook on sausage action, this is a fetish nobody knew existed until right about now, inaccuracy. Black responds, I'm suddenly an math textbook. Black just transformed into the textbook. I didn't even know human beings could do that. I want to turn into a chair. Anyway, she didn't question it, she didn't reject it, she became a math textbook in hopes to be rubbed on some unwashed wiener. This is somehow one of the most defensive counters. You can't be weird to someone if they are a weird thing. Brilliant move. White finishes, and I mean finishes, with math, S so, G good, exclamation point, O, exclamation point. White stuttering at a textbook while having what sounds to me like after my goon sesh. This man is ecstatic from rubbing algebra on his pickle. Completely relatable. I do this with my biology textbooks. Good move. Next, White starts us off with, I would be catching my breathe, MMPHH, miles per hour, weird, White's out of breath doing something under the blanket. It's pretty obvious what he's doing. We've all been here. Yes, we, me, and especially you. Yes, you, the viewer watching this video, I know what you did. Inaccuracy. Black shoots back with ha, Black's matching his energy with her own freaky noises. They're both panning at each other through text. This is actually kind of scary and a forced move. White continues with whimpers and lets out a loud moan. White just whimpered and moaned. We still don't know why. Maybe he stubbed his toe, maybe he saw a really good sandwich. Honestly, that would get me. The context is not with us, but the noises tell the whole story. Mistake. Black says, I'm so wet, Black announced she's wet. Could be sweat, could be rain, could be she spilled water. We're choosing to believe she dropped her drink. The stuttering suggests panic about the spilled drink. Blunder. White responds with, good girl, you may stop for now, by the way. White's calling a good girl for being wet and telling her she can stop? Stop what? Spilling drinks? Being damp? I'm kind of confused with this mistake. Black finishes with, yeah, I'm your good girl, I'll do as you ask me to, only if you reward me. Weird face emoji. If you want to be called a good boy, don't forget to like, subscribe, and grab some merch. Good boy. Who would reward someone for spilling so many drinks that they became wet? And what's with this good girl thing? I only call my dog a good girl. I don't see any other uses for it. I'm extremely confused about this match. I don't want to keep rating this match. This game is a draw. Next, White starts the game with raw with eye contact TBH and our big noses booping. White just replied on someone's Instagram story talking about raw with eye contact and nose booping. What does this mean? Is this the new trending thing today? Noses booping? And what raw? Like fish? This is all so confusing to me. Why are the matches today so confusing? I'm giving this an outrageous move for just giving me a migraine. Next, White opens with, hold on, give me a second. No lube, no protection, 18, no lube, no protection, all night, all day, from the kitchen floor to the toilet seat, from the dining table to the bedroom, from the bathroom sink to the shower, from the front porch to the balcony, vertically, horizontally, quadratic, exponential, logarithmic, while I gasp for air, scream, and see the light. Missionary, cowgirl, reverse cowgirl, doggy, backwards, forward, sideways, upside down, on the floor, in the bed, on the couch, on a chair, being carried against the wall, outside, in a train, on a plane, in the car, on a motorcycle, the bed of a truck, on a trampoline, in a bounce house, in the pool, bent over, in the basement, against the window, have the most toe-curling, back-arching, leg-shaking, dick-thribbing, fist-clenching, ear-rining, mouth-drooling, ass-clenching,
nose sniffling, eye watering, eye rolling, hip thrusting, earthquaking, sheet gripping, knuckles cracking, jaw dropping, hair pulling, teeth jitterbug, mind blogging, soul snatching, overstimulating, vile, sloppy, moan inducing, heart wrenching, spine tingling, back breaking, atrocious, gushy, creamy, beastly, lip biting, gravity defying, nail biting, sweaty feet kicking, mind blowing, body shivering, orgasmic, bone breaking, world ending, black hole creating, universe destroying, devious, scrumptious, amazing, delightful, delectable, unbelievable, body numbing, bark worthy, can't walk, head nodding, soul evaporating, volcano erupting, sweat rolling, voice. Oh, Jesus. White just opened with the most down bad opening I have ever seen in my entire life. White must have been starving for it. Everyone keeps saying this is what Zero Cat does to a mofo, but I've seen what Pussy does to a mofo, and it is much worse. Next, White moves a piece with "Hey Britain!" exclamation point. It's Mr. Period Erickson from 11th grade physics period. Haven't heard from you in a while. We should catch up soon. Smiling face emoji. Wow, you've grown! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point. White's claiming to be a former physics teacher reaching out to a student named Britain. Seems wholesome until the "Wow, you've grown." That's not a teacher. That's a creepy unk at Thanksgiving. I can't believe these types of teachers exist. How do you even have the mindset to do this towards your previous students? Someone take away his teaching license before it's too late. Disgusting. Outrageous move. Why couldn't I get these kinds of teachers? Next, White opens with, "Oh, happy B-Day." White's wishing someone a happy birthday with minimal effort. Something we all do when we barely know someone but don't want to be rude and not greet them. Book move. Black responds with, "Thank you!" exclamation point. Day doesn't really mean much, but I guess it's another one, XD. Black's thanking him, but immediately revealing birthdays aren't special to them. Trying to keep it light, but there's pretty much sadness here. Black's being honest and a good move. White says, "Oh, that's sad to hear. I hope you have a good day. Have dinner with your friends or family or something. If there's anything I can do to help, say so." White's showing genuine concern. He's offering help. That seems pretty nice so far. Surely nothing bad happens and this stays a whole conversation. Right, guys? I bet my right nut it will stay wholesome. Good move. Black explains, "Yeah, ... First time I tried making a birthday party was last year and everyone canceled 2 hours before ... Not a fan of repeating the experience, period. Don't have family either, so it's like a day from any other, period. Buy a cupcake from the store and light up a lighter as usual, but thank you, exclamation point." Black just revealed he has no family, his only party attempt failed, and he celebrates alone with a store-bought cupcake and a lighter instead of candles. It's honestly heartbreaking. He's being vulnerable. Forced move. This would be less depressing if this wasn't my exact same birthday that I just had. White says, "Well, is there anything I can do to help?" Nervous face emoji. White's still trying to be supportive. He's asking again if he can help, and it still seems caring. Good move so far. Black responds, "Not really, no, but thank you for wanting to." Black's declining help but appreciating the gesture and they're being polite. Good move. White pushes with, "You sure? I could give you something special to celebrate." White's insisting on giving something special, apparently. This could still be innocent, but something special is starting to feel weird. Mistake. Black accepts, "I appreciate the gesture. I don't feel entitled to receiving anything, but it's appreciated." And then, "Sure, I suppose it couldn't hurt." Black's hesitantly accepting because he doesn't want to seem rude. He's clearly uncomfortable with receiving things, but agreed anyway. Forced move. White asks, "What would you like to see?" White's asking what he'd like to see, not receive. The phrasing is pretty suspicious. Mistake turning into a potential blunder. There goes my right, fellas. I'm all out. Black responds with, "I don't know. You're the one giving the thing, XD." Black's confused because White asking what he wants to see instead of what he wants. Still trying to keep it light, he has no idea what's coming. White sends, "What about this then?" Sends a weird picture of themselves in a leash. Hold on, White just sent a picture of himself in a leash on this person's sad birthday. He took "I'll give you something special" and sent a fetish photo. This person shared that they have no family and failed party attempts, and White responded with some weird ass leash pic. This is insane and a blunder for preying on vulnerable people. Black responds with, "That's ... unexpected." Black's being incredibly polite considering what just happened in a forced move. White then asks, "Would finding me like this be a good birthday gift, or not good enough?" White's thinking finding him in a leash would be a good birthday present. He's asking if he's good enough, like he's offering a service. The man saw depression and thought he'd definitely cheer up seeing me on a collar in all fours. Despicable blunder, and nobody would want to see me on a collar with all fours. Black says, "But thanks, I suppose, XD. And now you made it weird." Black's still trying to be nice by saying thanks, but calling out that it's weird now. Good move for staying calm, but still not aggressive enough for my tastes. White continues and then sends another picture of them in a maid outfit. I have ones like this as well. White sent another photo, this time in a maid outfit. He has a collection, apparently. He's not stopping. As well instead of as well shows he's rushing to send more, probably birked up imagining Black has been liking the picture so far. Catastrophic blunder. Black tries to stop it with, "Look, I'm sure you're a sweet kid, and please don't take this wrong, but, period, I'm neither interested nor available, period. Today's a shit day, please don't make it any more complicated, period. Black's being firm now, he called him a kid, stated he's taken, and asked him to stop because today is already terrible. He's being direct while still trying to be kind, and a brilliant move. White ignores everything, saying, I know you're dating, she still doesn't have to know, weird dog face emoji, our maid dress is not your thing, question mark, I have other clothes or none, ... White knows he's dating and suggested cheating. The weird ass face after suggesting cheating on their partner is absolutely disgusting. Then he offered to send her nudes with or none. Person shared trauma about birthdays and White is propositioning him. Absolutely diabolical blunder. Black set boundaries with please don't, period. I'd rather not have to block you because I enjoy things being resolved through open communication, period. I am not interested, period. Just because I'm bisexual does not mean I'm actively interested in anything that moves, period. Please be respectful towards others and towards yourself, period. Black's giving him one final chance. He explained he's bisexual but not interested in everyone, which means White saw his sexuality and thought he'd want to see his pics. He's being respectful while shutting him down completely. Great move, and a better move would have been calling this freak a disgusting gooner freak and resigning. White backtracks with, if you're not interested in pictures, is texting better, question mark. White's still not getting it. He thinks the problem is the format, not the content, in a blunder. Black clarifies, as long as you keep it respectful and platonic without any romantically or sexually charged conversation, yes, period. Look, today's a sensitive day, period. So yeah, talking is nice, period. But don't be an asshole about it, okay, question mark. Black setting boundaries and calling him out for being an asshole. He still wants conversation, but only if he behaves. He's giving him more chances than my ex did. It was one mistake, Ryana. Good move. White apologizes with, oh, okay, I'm sorry, would you like to chat about then? White finally apologized and asked what he wants to talk about. He might have learned, but I doubt it. Gooners never change, forced move. Black responds anything. Art, video games, whatever, heck, politics, or the culmination of genetics that led to us as a species. Black's listing normal conversation topics, suggesting normal and weird human topics. Saddest thing is, Black is so lonely he's still trying to have a conversation with this freak just to have someone to talk to on their birthday. This is kind of sad since White resigned after being turned down like the dog they are. As an early birthday present, please hit that playlist button that pops up. I'm begging you, I'm on my hands and knees. White's profile says, all I ask is that you play basketball, watch NBA with me, and be 6 foot tall. Maybe a couple inches, give or take, so I know I would manage to pull this woman. My dit is definitely 6 feet tall, but it's a bit expectant needing every man with a chance to have a chopped like Drake and me. A rookie mistake because 99% of prospects have been wiped out with this one. Black hits back with, I could give or take a couple of inches to you for sure, playing a great move trying to get into their opponent's pants before even breaching their side of the board. Cutting straight to the chase is what made this offensive move so successful, and if White wants to keep their pieces, they're gonna have to defend. I think I wouldn't mind. Also, please don't tell me you're a Leo, man. We are under a minute into the video, and White has mentioned star signs, so I regret being here and being born. I've never understood women who judge a man based on where they were born, but to each their own, I guess. Under my rules, it is and always will be a blunder, though, and in the game badly for White. Next, Black explains, we love a confident woman using a traditional book move to get the conversation going with a compliment. Moves like this can make the game go in any direction, and it all depends on the playstyle of the opponent. Let's hope this one is aggressive because you and I want some entertainment. White responds with we equals you and your credit card, playing the gold digger gambit in a mistake, shoving a red flag into Black's face like there's no tomorrow. If Black is smart, he will resign the game immediately, but something tells me this isn't going to be the case. Black plays, well, at least the confidence is surely there, and while this might be sarcastic, it's still shameful that he sees a positive in White's mistake. White is going to mine gold from him like a broke OnlyFans creator squeezing every last renewal out of a loyal top tier simp, so the only good move here would have been resigning. Just trying to show out for you, baby. Kiss. White plays an excellent move trying to seduce their opponent into becoming an infinite money glitch. For some men, all it takes is being called baby or daddy, and all of a sudden they forget everything bad you've done and go all in. Trust me, I know. For conspiracy reasons, that was a joke and I am perfectly straight. Black regains some independence by pushing back with, as one confident person to another, if you want yo get shopping, you better get to slopping. And I haven't heard a better one-liner in my life. Not only does it fit the perfect situation, but it provides a win-win situation for both players in a brilliant move. While it's still a bit embarrassing to have money to give someone to get you guac guac, but in this situation, you can't really fault it. White replies, I'll take care of you, accepting the deal with a good move and bringing the game closer to a stalemate. Both of these players probably feel like a giddy child on Christmas Eve now, because who doesn't want someone's credit card and who doesn't want their sloppy toppy? I've never seen two players walk out of a text chess battle with their heads held so high. Who TF allowed a woman to get game like this? Ref? On the surface, there is nothing wrong with this move, but one flaw is that white will not understand black's ref joke. Of course, it means a sports referee is needed to review the situation, but for all the huzz knows, it can mean reference or even rambunctious fiddlers. Missed opportunity for a stalemate and a miss in general, serving the win to white on a golden platter. Next, white opens with a question mark, throwing us into what looks like a pre-established game, making this move very hard to analyze. The only suiting rating is a boring move, because without our knowledge, what does it actually do for the game? Black creates conflict and replies by acting like you know what you're doing, but you don't, accusing their opponent of being an idiot, which is a traditional way of offense going down as a good move. It sets up some nice forms of attack and also doesn't open up their defense too much in order to prevent counterattacking potential for white. White asks, "What's Buddy on?" using the most condescending pet name on the planet. Being called buddy is a low that only people who have been called buddy can understand, because not only does it make you sound like 6 years old, but it also makes it sound like the speaker doesn't like you. Black plays a great move by using this and creating a fork on two different pieces. Choosing to reply honestly, Black answers a lot of things: Coke, grass, and you and I both know that bro isn't talking about Coca-Cola. You better hope the government isn't watching this, because they'd be at his door ASAP about this type of use. The only chance he has of getting away with this is if it's the government from Stranger Things, because those motherfuckers are about as useful as a butter knife against steel. It's a definitely mistake for snitching on yourself like this. In shock, White replies, "The hell?" making it clear that they are an innocent suburban child and don't know about the lifestyle Black lives. This good move doesn't do anything wrong, but at the same time, I can't think of any way it actually benefits them, because it neither defends or attacks. Pretty useless if you ask me. Black plays "Get out, you're not tough," acting like they weren't the one trying to act tough a few minutes ago, flexing about the substances they've been misusing. You can't get away with hypocrisy like this in such high elo lobbies, and it almost always results in a blunder, with this play proving it. Oh no, I'm angry. Rocking the opponent, White starts their offense by executing a fork and capturing Black's rook. This excellent move indirectly calls out Black for their Ragebait shenanigans, and of course breaks free from them in amazing style. Black tries to push back with "Get out," which has to be one of the most brain-dead moves I've seen in a while. After saying "Get out" and getting a blunder for it, Black somehow came to the decision to do the exact same thing again. Surely they're trying to lose on purpose after this blunder. It's either that or White's playing against a literal gorilla. They've played Minecraft before, so it wouldn't surprise me if one hopped on text chess. Nice rage baiting bud, laughing emoji. White laughs in the face of Black, asserting true dominance, and they might as well squish them like a bug. From the very beginning, Black had no chance in this game, but to be fair to him, he had no idea who he's going to queue against the Magnus Carlsen of entitled DMs. Clearly Black isn't ready for the big leagues yet, and they get steamrolled by this brilliant move. Black simply replies, "Yeah, I know, I'm so good," speaking utter nonsense before resigning the game immediately. Quitting is the best shit they've done all game, but it was way too late if they wanted to avoid being embarrassed. I wouldn't be surprised if they uninstalled after this nightmare. Next, nice. Can you draw for me? White reaches out with a book move, making a basic request to their opponent, who probably posted drawings onto a social media account. Black responds with "Thank you," hug emoji. Yes, I can. I take commissions, charging money for their services like a good little businessman, and a great move. Drawing of all jobs definitely takes a lot of time, so you can't blame them for wanting money, even if it's for a friend or even a family member. White asks, "What is commission?" And behind that screen, I can imagine that one gif of Patrick Star drooling like his mouth is a waterfall. This is the type of kid you find in the bottom set of math, because playing the miss like this is the only for the least intelligent text chess players on the planet. Sorry if any of you don't know what a commission is, I'm joking of course. Black answers, "Well, in order, it requires money just like any other job." Keeping their cool and explaining in a professional way, but they were definitely wheezing when they asked what a commission was. Luckily, they know how to stay composed in situations where they need to sell something, which you gotta respect, as it's an excellent move. Composure is key when it comes to selling things to people. Turning into the IRS, White starts to press questions such as, "You pay taxes? You registered under the government? And we might have an FBI agent on our hands here. If this is meant to be an undercover operation, it's already failed, because if Black has any wits about them, they'll know this is a bad idea and ignore the message right away." The questions are good, but the execution not so much, making this an inaccuracy. Black replies, "Not really, I do this as a hobby and I earn less than $300 a month, so I don't pay taxes for it." Playing defensively now, Black is made to explain themselves in a forced move, and they do a great job of it. $300 a month is next to nothing as far as the IRS are concerned, so if any message is to push them out of their DMs, it's this one. Lying point blank, White says, "You know that is illegal. How much you charge per draw? And I think I see what they're doing now." Instead of trying to expose Black for not paying their taxes, White is on a mission to use blackmail to get a discount. This is extremely unethical and a mistake, but it isn't enough to be banned by the text chess admins. Depending on how op this turns out, we might have to change that rule though. White continues by explaining, "You can draw for me and my wife for free, not paying you since you aren't registered." I knew it. This blackmail is an outrageous move, and as much as I wished I could change the rules mid-game and ban this bitch, I can't, so we have to see how it plays out. Black stands by themselves and replies, I don't draw for free, not allowing themselves to get fooled by this evil player. I'm pretty sure they're confident they're doing nothing wrong since they earn literally $300 a month, which is nowhere near taxable income, so it's an excellent move not to allow this blackmail to extort them. Going down a different route, White explains, but you can draw for practice. But someone making money from art does not need any practice, which is why I'm grading this a mega inaccuracy. From the sounds of it, White should be the one trying to learn because they're clearly struggling for money at the moment if they can't buy an art piece for their wife. It wouldn't surprise me if they were spending all their money on OnlyFans because a degenerate trying to use blackmail could definitely be a degenerate in other ways too. Black tries to keep peace and responds with, if I ever want to practice and have no inspiration, I will message you, smiling face. This brilliant move tries to keep White from being pissed off, but you and I both know that bro is not going to message with an offer for free art, especially after being falsely alarmed for tax fraud. It's a defense almost impossible to penetrate, and White is going to struggle in getting anything through it. Taking this as a definite, White demands, okay, I need it by April since my wife's birthday, so do it by then. The lack of manners in this message is horrible and way too expectant to get any praise, so I'm grading it a blunder. The least you can do is be polite to someone you're trying to get them to do work for you for free of charge, but clearly White woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or maybe they fell off. I'll do it whenever I'm free. I can't promise doing it before April. I hate to say it, but Black is a pussy. This mistake lets all of White's disrespect slide and even keeps the potential of doing the drawing back on the table, which is crazy. The best move would have been sending something offensive, but clearly Black couldn't hurt a fly. White asks, where do you live? Getting even more aggressive than before, and who knows what they could do with his address. They could threaten to dox it, move like Prime King Vaughn and Slime Black, or even kidnap their entire family and hold them hostage like Duolingo in 2022. No matter where you look at this move, it's clear that intentions are bad, but against Black, it's likely to work, so a good move. Black stands her ground and pushes back with why, making White explain themselves in a great move, but in order to truly execute it, the follow-up has to be perfect. I'm calling the police on you, bitch. You think you can get away with illegal stuff? Bitch. Nothing about this is illegal, and White is banking on White having less brain cells than a catfish who sends crop pictures and acts shocked when nobody believes it's them. I assure you, I'm not talking from experience. For real though, this mistake undermines the opponents being lenient so far and gives them way too much of a chance. Revealing their idiot status, Black responds with, okay, I'll do it before April, losing aura at a rate that I can't even comprehend. Getting blackmailed with a law that isn't even real is a new low, and to be honest, Black deserves it for being so ignorant. Blunder. Ha 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 ha. My bad, the AI I don't know what's going on with it lately. Got scared of police? White uses their newfound power in this situation to laugh in the face of Black without any repercussions, and as much as this is bullying at this point, it does the job in the sense of trying to win a text chess game and is a great move. Black simply replies, yeah, in a state of depression, because who wouldn't be when they're forced into doing labor? This forced move might as well be labeled as slavery at this point because I'm convinced bro would do anything for White at this point. White says, good, stay in your senses, and then asks, done, can I see progress, preparing to offer the most harsh criticism of his life. God forbid Black sends the work because there's no chance it gets any praise from this pure evil White player. However, I'm grading this an excellent move because it threatens to capture the king and advances towards a win. In response, Black states, I haven't started, in a brilliant move, refusing to work hard for obvious reasons. Of course, it's still bad that they're making the drawing in the first place, but this little spark of independence could turn into a fire for all we know, and save Black from losing. Damn, this game is poetic as fuck. Hurry up is White's next command, demanding faster work like he owns his opponent with a great move. The capital letters really seal the deal here, and if Black tolerates it, it's safe to say they are way too far gone to have any chance at winning. I hate ruling players off early, but in times like this, I think it's reasonable. Oh my lord, Black has done it. You're not even paying me. Do you really think it is fair of you to boss me around like this? It is quite rude. If you really want a drawing that fast, I will give you one really quick, but do not complain if it doesn't reach your standards. That right there, guys, is peak character development. Bro went from a little twink who gets beat like a piñata to complete independence with a brilliant move, realizing that this Neek literally has no power over them. Not realizing that Black has cut off their puppet strings, White demands, okay, do ASAP, even sketch is okay, clearly missing the crucial information with a miss. White sends the most obvious Ragebait sketch ever, and these two characters are chopped as shit. I wouldn't be surprised if Black drew this with his ass, and there's no way it doesn't make White mad, making it a trophy move. WTF is this? WTF? What is this? WTF? What the fuck is this? Reply back, we do not look like this, are you blind? Reply back, reply now or I'm calling the police. You know I can see when you see my messages, right? You think I'm stupid? I'll report you to the police for not giving taxes. F you. Yeah, maybe Black got to him. This blunder confirms an eventual checkmate for Black, forcing White to resign the game and avoid all humiliation. The best bet for him to recover is joining my Discord server using the link in the description. Not only can you get good at text chess with feedback, but your DMs could end up in videos. And by the way, what did Black have here? Was that a job? Anyways, I'm so sorry for all of those slurs. I should have given a trigger warning. Anyway, next, O looks around nervously. Haha, hey there, cute face. White confirms their D1 Gunner status off the rip by using asterisks, and I literally want to shrivel like a raisin. Moves like this never fail to make me uneasy, and it has to be a certified cornball move. If you think of a way to argue against this, you're probably a cornball too. Black asks, clearly fearing just as uneasy as me, which I'm gonna guess is not what White wanted. Black plays a good move, showing their opponents that they are weird, but in a discreet way to not directly insult them too much. White continues the roleplay and says asterisk whips it out asterisk, turning a semi-normal conversation into an 18+ novel in a matter of seconds. You're lucky YouTube doesn't collect IDs before videos because 90% of you would be looking at a blank screen right now, but it probably wouldn't upset you. I'd rather look at a solid white wall for 15 hours than this mistake. It's fucking tinier than a 5-year-old steals a brain rot iPad kid's attention span. Damn, that's small. Black goes on the mega offensive, dropping a very personal insult, but my main question is how does he know this information? Also, I don't think size matters, which definitely gives the insult less of effect. Mistake. Quite simply, White replies, "Fuck you," the traditional response that players defend with when they have nothing better to say. It usually works a treat, but any good player knows that it's a cheap cop-out and a missed opportunity for something better, hence a miss. Black hits back with, "That's what I did to your mom last night," and insults this bad belong in elementary school, definitely not high elo text chest messages. Black plays a blunder here because there were only so many insult opportunities, but he decided to choose the single-handed worst one. You know what, replace that blunder with a cornball move, I don't care if I've used it already. Next, White kicks us off with great date with a nice fine dining experience, maybe a bouquet of roses, smiling face, which is a very expectant first date to want. You have to think of first dates like an investment, so why would you pour in lots of money into fine dining if the chances of a return are half and half? I can tell this person doesn't gamble, which is obviously a bad thing because I gamble every day, and that's a mistake. Black replies, "I promise to be a gentleman, but I think a first date should be fun and easy. Let's start with drinks or coffee and see if you can charm me into planning that fancy dinner," winking emoji. See, this guy knows his shit. A coffee date is a simple, $5 investment, which is way more worth it for a first date. He also sneaks some Riz in there at the end, which rounds off in an excellent move. I can tell this guy has learned from experience. OMG, sure, come for coffee to Edgewater, Miami. Just confirm which morning I'm available, and I don't have to charm anyone for the dinner. I can buy myself whatever dinner I want, but I'm allergic to cheapskates. You should know that, winking face. Maybe you should find some American girl within your budget who will be excited to go to Target or Starbucks with you, winking face. Russian ladies are not for beginners. White hits back with a very long move and isn't even finished. They then send a TikTok recorded by Black and say, "You gave me even more cringe at the end," laughing emoji. Probably we shouldn't meet at all, good luck. This blunder really makes no sense. Last time I checked, it was White trying to set up a luxury date, and Black was clearly being asked out, not the other way around. I doubt he cares that much, and if anything, he's probably laughing at how much time White wasted here. Hey, by the way, do you remember that guy earlier with the job? Sorry, I can't help it. Anyway, next, may I ask something? A book move from White gets the game going and leaves two possible requests for their opponent. Listen or turn off their phone and end the game early. Black chooses to allow it and replies, "Sure, shoot," inviting the question and allowing the game to progress instead of aborting, like I should have been. This is for sure the fun move, but whether or not it's the best move, time will tell. Based on what we have so far, it's a book move, simply moving a pawn in return. White asks, "Would you be okay with sending pictures wearing certain hair accessories?" And I really hope these pictures are not the sort I'm thinking of. If that's the case, I might have to resign the channel. Assuming they want normal pictures of hair products though, I'm calling this a good move for simply trying to get what they want. Black answers back with, "Maybe, if you purchase them," revealing this is a selling app and White has interest in these hair accessories. They have every right to want to see what they are purchasing, and Black is definitely in the wrong for making them purchase it before being allowed to see other pictures. This is text chess though, and sometimes being unethical is being good at the game, with this being one of those circumstances. Excellent move for trying to secure the bag. White seems annoyed and says, "Oh well, I can't do that. What do you have to wear?" And now I'm confused, so I'll look at the last move before analyzing anything. Good move, I guess. Black responds, "Typical male entitlement. Why would I buy something just to wear it for you so you can fulfill some desire of yours? It's not a selling platform, what the f?" So White wants Black to buy some hair accessories for the sole purpose of sending pictures making them obvious the bad guy in their last move a blunder. Black's response, on the other hand, is an excellent move for calling this out and not tolerating any disrespect. "I hate male entitlement and I am 6'5", by the way. You can contact me at my Discord, ladies. 18+, please." Next, White starts the game with, "Thanks for liking my photo. May I ask why you did so?" Like an absolute weirdo. Who the hell privately DMs people when they receive a like? That just isn't how social media works and comes out as creepy. Inaccuracy. Black explains, "I was just liking people who looked cute," which is the typical answer and goes to show that White missed out on a Riz opening. Instead, they left the Riz to Black, who delivers with a great move, letting the opponent know their cute status and giving them a chance to make moves themselves. Instead of making moves though, White states, "I'm flattered," taking the compliment well, creating no sort of attack, which does practically nothing for them in a mistake. It's usually the women who aren't interested who say shit like this, not people who actually want to drop some game. I'm disappointed and I hope Bro's ancestors are too. What are you looking for? Trying to get some words of value out of White. Black plays a good move with an open-ended question holding all sorts of possibilities. Knowing white, we should expect their response to consist of 2 words, but it's still worth giving them a chance. Approximately $83,000. Can you help me out? Alright, who the f does this player think they're messaging? 83,000 euros is money that some of the wealthiest people around wouldn't give to random dating app match, and the expectancy is crazy. Unless Black is Paul McCartney or Elon Musk, white stands no chance of getting that 83,000 pesos, and the odds tell me that based on the profile picture, Black is none of the above. Holy blunder. Next, my most controversial opinion is I do not appreciate being objectified based on my physical appearance. Treat me like the goddess that I am. White makes a semi-controversial statement because the first part is completely valid, but not the second part. It's a bit entitled calling yourself a goddess and a straight inaccuracy. Many people on the platform would take offense to that rather than love it. I guess that's why it's a controversial opinion though. My controversial opinion is that people who still use letters to replace words like you instead of you need to be publicly executed at exactly 12 o'clock in the middle of the day tomorrow. Let me know if you agree. Black replies to such a statement by saying, based on your clause, I sentence you as a witch who will be burned on the stake, burn. Other than the grade 3 standard grammar from Black here, the move as a whole hurts my brain. I have no idea how being a witch links to the statement at all, but the claw insult is funny. Overall, it's still a mistake though. White hits back with yawn, another man intimidated by good nails and big energy. Next, raising a valid concern his nails are very nice in the huzz, and calling them claws is outright wrong. Based on how Black described them, I just assumed she didn't cut them, but damn, calling them claws is invalid as shit, and this is a great move. If this is how women pat themselves on the back to live in delusion these days, holy yeah. Black ends the game and somehow checkmates themselves because ain't nobody listening to that waffle. Next, straight up, White just says, I want someone who's rich, and while honestly is the best policy, I don't think it can apply here. Showing off gold digger status as if you have money yourself is an embarrassing thing to do, period. Especially when you put it on your f***ing dating profile. I'm surprised someone actually responded to this entitled bitch inaccuracy. Black likes the answer, and I really hope it's for comedic effect rather than an actual desire to become White's sugar daddy. No matter what they meant though, White will still definitely see it as validation, which is a mistake on Black's part. As I guessed, White plays really send me money using absolutely no manners and expecting 10 bands to magically spawn into our bank account in a D1 blunder. You don't get free money as easily as this unless you hop on OnlyFans and Ragebait people online as a marketing campaign. Hopefully, White doesn't go down that route, but it wouldn't surprise me. Luckily, they're too chopped to actually succeed. Next, we should grab drinks and eat apps is White's eager yet normal opening, proposing a potential date to their opponent and book a move. My only criticism is who the f uses apps as a slang? I'm gonna assume it means apples based on the context because I'm not sure about you, but I doubt bro wants to eat shit like Snapchat. Black shows interest by playing I like drinks and apps, validating White's date idea and encouraging him to advance the game beyond the chalking stage. On the surface, nothing should go wrong, but you're watching a tech chess video, of course something is gonna go wrong. Back in the move itself, it's a good move and progresses the talking stage. White states, we have a lot in common, soon you'll be on my insurance, throwing the prospect of money into the situation way too quickly. If you have to offer insurance coverage to reel in a fish, then this is the bait really worth the catch. In simple terms, don't throw money at the huzz because it's bound to end in heartbreak when you realize that's the only reason they're beside you. Good move. Black spots an opportunity and asks, do I get a credit card too? Asking the harmful questions now, and we just have to cross our balls hoping that White doesn't accept this because that would be simp behavior at its finest. Mistake. Of course you do. Of course, White plays the only blunder possible in this situation by giving their opponent complete consent to put them in more debt than they probably were during university. The second this girl gets her own hand and a credit card, she's gonna be in the Louis Vuitton store speaking like she owns 67 businesses or something. It might be time to put a light on the credit card, buddy. Black continues their offense with, now we're talking, capturing White's queen and securing his fate as a broke man. I would feel sorry for him, but he invited the pressure, and at this point, he deserves to be slapped with a checkmate. White continues feeding into this money sucker who thinks he has potential to be a diss sucker by explaining, we were already just talking blank, were you not paying attention, revealing that he's a little comedian with a cornball move. Maybe she might find it funny because she had green tinted shades on right now, but I guarantee you that no one laughed, you and me. If you laughed at this, honestly pause the video and take a minute to reflect on your life choices because reflection is necessary and I'll forgive you after that. Ah, he's a comedian too, good to know. Black gives the illusion that they give a shit about the joke with a great move. To her, the cost of hearing the man's F-tier humor is probably worth the credit card, so she has to laugh and I would too if the stakes were this high. She definitely has a straight face behind the screen though, and it's not because she's excited for the paycheck. Changing the conversation entirely, White hits back with, I have a number in my head, pick a number 1 through 5, and if this is another joke I'm ending it all. The channel I mean. For now, I'll call it a good move because it could be setting something up. My expectations are 0. Black's choice is 2, and you guys should pick a number and comment to 2. Let's see if our little comedian can fool us too. Forced move. White compliments their line and explains, "We're doomed, it was 4, IDK what other evidence we would need," with the most shit execution ever, obviously rendering it as a mistake. It's so bad that I have to explain what happened. Basically, White thinks he's tough and was seeing if they chose the same number for compatibility. If you type 4 in the comments below, I genuinely feel sorry for you. With their green tinted shades slowly fading, Black explains, "Well, 2 by 2 equals 4, glass half full kind of girl over here, trying desperately not to lose her chances of getting a random dude's credit card. Desperation is usually pure oral loss, but in these dire circumstances, it's valid, and I would be desperate to gold dig too, making it an excellent move. Go and secure that bag." White hits back with, "I'm glad you can recognize that us being compatible would be a net improvement to our life. The real question is, would it? Yeah, it would make Black happy and be able to quit their job. What the f does it gain for White other than some paid company and probably the occasional sloppy toppy? That's why this is a rookie mistake and definitely not a net positive." Black tries to argue my points by replying, "And I'd bring tons of deals to yours," putting their offer on the table in return for money. If White was saying, they would read this miss and realize money can bring more thrill than Black could ever provide, but unlike Black, White has rose-tinted glasses rather than green. White sets up the date with, "Let's grab drinks next week," securing his place in Simp Hell, and if he wants to be there, well done, but it's definitely not the best choice for his life and a blunder if he gives Black the win. Black takes it by saying, "I'm down," and not only taking his credit card, but also getting free drinks. She has absolutely finessed White with a brilliant move, and I guarantee you, after one shopping spree, bro is getting ghosted hard. I also guarantee you that my merch will improve your chances with every girl you speak to, so make sure to visit techchess.store and give it a look. Also, make sure to like and subscribe while you're down below the video for more videos. Next, a Danielle smiling face is the simple opening from White, greeting their opponent with politeness and moving their first pawn in a book move. Literally anything could come out of this though, so there isn't really much to say. Black also mirrors their first pawn by shouting, "Hey," and someone's an eager beaver. This book move mirrors White's play perfectly, and the explanation point makes things sound very eager, which will likely fall off when they find out what White actually wants from them. White responds with, "Can I be frank with you?" setting up their question in a usual way, which goes down as a good move. Whenever someone's asked to propose or something like this though, it's usually batshit crazy, and this is about to live up to exactly that. Sure, Black plays a boring move, letting White play whatever they want and sitting back in their comfortable armchair. Whether this will pay off or not, only White's next move can answer. "I'm not trying to date you or anything. I'm robbing a bank. I need an attractive female to distract an overweight guard that runs a night shift. Clothing will be provided. All you need to do is hold his attention for 15 minutes and 49 seconds. Are you in or out, Danielle?" White fails to include one key detail in their proposal, which is what's in it for Black. I highly doubt she'll be able to dress provocatively and pretend to riz an overweight night guard for roughly 16 minutes if there's nothing in it for her, and that's also quite a high chance she doesn't want payment in stolen goods. What I will credit is that the time is very precise, so at least he has a plan, but who knows if it's good or not. It's only logical to label this as a criminal move for obvious reasons, because theft is a literal crime, unless you're stealing street signs. Next, inquiring about a product, White asks, "Is there an aux input or is it Bluetooth only?" Just looking for the details on a product they want to buy, which is perfectly normal and a good move. If anything, Black's a bit of a dick for not including this information on the listing. Black answers with Bluetooth only, doing what they can to sell the product. $50 is a lot of money, so holding peace and being a good salesman is needed to make any money here. Black plays a great move by calmly answering instead of carrying conflict. White creates the conflict for them and hits back with lame, pinning a high value piece to Black's king in a good move. On an ethical standpoint, White could have easily just said they weren't interested, but they understand the game and want to win, so they chose the option that's most likely to earn a checkmate. So many Texas players lose for being too nice. Trying to one-up White's insult, Black drops the literal F-slur, which you and I both know isn't cool and is actually a blunder. Not only does this paint him as an unlikable player, but if the Facebook admins see this, you bet he won't be silent speaker through them anymore. There were so many better insults to use here, and it's sad that they chose this one. Said the single Navy motherfucker with the animal profile picture. You see, this is how you respond to an insult and successfully parry it with a parry move. White has the right idea, and their insults have a much better effect, despite them starting the conflict and being the entitled one in the situation. It just goes to show how cooked you can be if you use a slur in Texas matches. Repeating their mistake again, Black drops the move, go suck a dick, and then of course they rinse and repeat the F slur. People like this have always been one slur in their vocabulary and don't know how to argue with anyone in any other way, which shows a big lack in intelligence. Bro is definitely a 0.3 GPA and will not be going to Harvard anytime soon. Even if they got good grades, their digital footprint is cooked anyway. Bet you sucked millions, LMAO, is White's absolute cinema of a response, using Black's own insult against him as a brilliant move. Ragebait this good is extremely rare, and anyone who reserves Spirit off deserves to visit the White House and gain some sort of award. Falling for the bait, Black says, "Shut the fuck up, kid," and rage quits the game, giving the win to White by resignation. I'm not sure about what you think, but in my humble opinion, it's not only the best choice to swear at someone and let them walk away with no ego. Not only is Black a shit at the game, but they're a pussy too. Next, Michael, because low-key I need that LMAO. "How did you get blank that nick for free? LOL, she told me." White is your average junkie, expecting on hunting their junkie inventory for free for no reason at all. Anyone who smokes is constantly playing a blunder, but trying to get free nick is a mega blunder, making it an outrageous move and the only right outcome. Black asks, "What do you mean?" acting oblivious to the situation, which they definitely aren't. They just don't want to give everyone free nick, which definitely wouldn't be nice in the bank account, and an excellent move for avoiding this. The best move would have been tricking them and saying yes but never delivering though. The geek bar is White's reply, revealing that this person didn't only receive free nicotine, but an entire geek bar. I don't really know what that is, but this is the most Sharva conversation ever, and geek bars need to be made extinct for obvious reasons. This might as well become a legitimate case study to prove it. White is desperate, and wouldn't be surprising if they got cancer when they're older for this blunder, as sad as that is. Black continues to act lost and hits back with, "What about it?" forcing White to elaborate for even a slight chance of being given their hit for free. They're playing with White at this point, and you can't blame them. I'd be bored too if I was a nicotine seller constantly dealing with junkies like this. Regardless of their job, though, they play a great move here, deterring a cheapskate. White cuts to the chase and asks, "Can you get me one please?" clearly fed up with Black not understanding and wanting a yes or no answer like an expectant fiend. It gets to the point where you need to put the fries in the bag and call it a day, with this point definitely being that point for White if Black says no. You still owe me 25. Okay, this move from Black reveals so many plot holes. The audacity that White has to beg for free nicotine when they still owe that same supplier $25 is incomprehensible. Black plays a brilliant move to remind their opponent of this, and there's no chance of getting this money back because White resigns the game and goes off the grid. So long as they quit nicotine, this is the good ending. Next, White posts a story reading, "Hi, a lot of you guys are complaining that I don't open my DMs, slanted face. You should understand I'm a busy gal. I'd be happy. I open your DM for $5, $10 for a short conversation, and $30 for a temporary follow back. $0 and I'll even follow you back permanently." Okay, there's an app for this called OnlyFans, and adding paid DMs off that platform is insane. I would like White to publicly leak every man that has ever paid her for this service, because if anyone on this planet deserves to be publicly shamed, it's definitely them. If this turns out profitable, it's unfortunately a brilliant move, but if not, it's a blunder. Use your imagination and you can decide. After that, make sure to watch the playlist on screen for more high-elo text chests.